Chapter 200. The existence of the word chasm was completely out of practical necessity. For example, no matter how smart a first grader is, he can't discuss theories like quantum mechanics with scholars. Another example is the crazy Taoist who teaches Lin Luoran the ancient secrets on a whim in the hot night wind of the desert. Even though he has the blood of the Jiuli tribe and his personal ability is at the level of bearing essence, he can't understand the interstellar signal transmission. For the crazy Taoist and Lin Luoran, the extension and application of spirit power is a huge gap. Over the long years, cultivators cultivated their sea of consciousness to become bigger and bigger, but they forgot the original function of the sea. Therefore, under the starry sky, the jade stairs full of cracks emits a short spiritual wave. Of course, the two of them don't notice it. The whip shakes a bit. Because the spiritual wave is too small, it doesn't do anything else. No matter how powerful an artifact is, if it is held by a cultivator at the level of bearing essence, it can't be fully used. For example, the sword of bright snow is in Lin Luoran's hand, or the pearls are covered with dust. When there is no one in the desert, a star twinkles in the sky like a naughty child. Then everything is quiet again. The wind and sand in the desert doesn't make Lin Luoran's skin worse. Compared to his unchanging appearance, the shock and worry in his heart were the greatest. Of course, Lin Luoran won't tell her parents about Baojia's current situation. She only tells them that Baojia met a senior cultivator in the family and will cultivate with him for a while. Mr. Lin says it is a lucky chance to comfort his mother who is reluctant to leave Baojia. Only Lin Luoran knows what kind of state Baojia is in after the crazy Taoist takes her away. Before the crazy Taoist leaves, he also tells her several ways to cure Baojia. All of them are treasures that Lin Luoran can't solve even with her space. For example, the soul wood. It is said that the last piece appeared in the Tang dynasty, before the disappearance of cultivators of gathering vitality. Since then, the world of cultivation has been declining. This kind of treasure is even less likely to appear. Lin Luoran thinks that she can figure out the mystery of the disappearance of cultivators of gathering vitality. However, the crazy Taoist obviously can't tell her what happened thousands of years ago because he knows the ancient secret. The crazy Taoist is not sure whether this is a conspiracy set up by the fake saintess many years ago, which led to the mysterious disappearance of the last masters of Huaxia. Perhaps the ancestors saw the loss of Earth's spiritual energy and went to another planet or space in order to open up a new place for cultivation. As for why there was no trace of them after 1,000 years, no one could say for sure whether they couldn't come back or were unwilling to come back. Lin Luoran touches the fox's soft ears and wakes up from her thoughts. "Senior sister, your master appeared in the end?" Wen Guanjing has heard the story several times, but he still looks doubtful. If it were not Lin Luoran, he would have left in a huff. Lin Luoran tells Wen about what happened. She successfully diverts Wen's attention by talking about ancient beasts like the kuei ox. She has said what she has to say. As for what she shouldn't, she doesn't say anything, even if it's Wen Guanjing. The news that there is a senior cultivator in the level of bearing essence in Huaxia is enough to make Hui Zhu and others speechless for a long time. With Lin Luoran's misleading words, it is not difficult for Wen Guanjing to say that the senior cultivator in the level of bearing essence is her master. Lin Luoran feels a little guilty. She regards Wen Guanjing as a friend, but now she is misleading him vaguely. Maybe she has changed. She used to be tough, but now she knows how to be flexible. When can she be free and cultivate without any scruples? The underground world of the Kalahari Desert has been closed with the seal of the fake saintess. Lin Luoran has made it clear whether the sects believe it or not. Even if they find the entrance, the eruption of the lava will be irregular without the control of the fake saintess. Those who want to go treasure hunting can only pray for themselves. As for Baojia, she is taken back to the place of cultivation by the crazy Taoist. Lin Luoran doesn't know where it is, but the crazy Taoist gives her 3 paper cranes. If there is any news about the soul wood, she can inform her. The trip to the desert doesn't reveal the mystery of the disappearance of the cultivator in the level of gathering vitality. Instead, Wen Guanjing feels like he is on a roller coaster. He has the feeling of breaking through and falling in a short period of time. Fortunately, Wen Guanjing is a strong-willed person. Other people may not be able to accept such a difference. The good news is that after this incident, Wen Guanjing finally decides to temporarily let go of the affairs of the special department and go back to his family to cultivate. He can't come out until he reaches the completion of the level of training Qi. Lin Luoran is happy about this. As for whether Qin Yun, the minister of the special department, will be happy after hearing the news, it is none of her business. As for Lin Luoran, she is worried about Bao Jia, but she has gained something. After Wen Guanjing leaves, there is no one else in Lin's house. The cyan little fox is lazily basking in the sun. Lin Luoran summons the jade stairs and stares blankly for a while. There are countless stars engraved on the back of the stairs. With her current spiritual mind, she almost gets lost on the first step. The crazy Taoist said that this is a star atlas. If there is a star atlas, it means that someone has explored the vast starry sky above her head. Is it an interstellar civilization or a powerful cultivator? No matter which one it was enough to make one's heart beat faster. Lin Luoran sighs and puts the jade stairs back into the space. She needs to have strong self-control to stop herself from exploring the star atlas on the back of the jade stairs. There is another gain from the trip to the Kalahari Desert. She finds that there are intelligent creatures like fire phoenix and silver fish in the space. Although she can't communicate with them yet, Lin Luoran is more confident that she can enter the cabin in the future. Of course, the space has absorbed the strange fire. Now there is a circulation of airflow. It drizzles from time to time and the wind blows. The space has become more like an independent small world. Lin Luoran takes out a peach from the space and throws it to the cyan little fox. This cunning little fox eats chicken, rabbit, peaches, and vegetables. It is not picky about what it eats. It is also good at acting cute, which is a sharp contrast to Goldie, who is getting colder and colder. Mrs. Lin likes it very much. After eating the peach, the fox still wants to eat the fat koi in the bluestone fish tank. Lin Luoran grabs the fox by its neck and holds it in her arms. The cyan little fox can't get rid of Lin Luoran, so it calms down reluctantly. Half a day after Wen Guanjing left, the phone in Lin's house starts to ring. Master Mu asks if the Kalahari Desert really can't be developed. Lin Luoran smiles bitterly and repeats what she said to Wen Guanjing. Even if it can be developed, she doesn't want to do it. Who knows if the seal will be opened after a large number of people come in? If so, the crazy Taoist's efforts will be in vain. Therefore, Lin Luoran deliberately emphasizes the importance of the Kalahari Desert to the cultivator in bearing essence. Master Mu sighs and stops talking about it. Chen Yun of the special department is much more difficult to deal with. Although he is polite, he keeps asking Lin all kinds of questions. What he says is that he is determined to develop the Kalahari Desert. Lin Luoran sneers. If someone really wants to die, she can't stop him from doing it. These are the aftertaste of the trip to the Kalahari Desert. Lin Luoran guesses that Hui Zhu, who is in the later stage of laying foundation, will be the most tempted by the cultivator in bearing essence. However, she has decided not to go back to the villa in Mount Qingqing for the time being. Considering Hui Zhu's temperament and the fact that they almost fell out with each other last time, Lin Luoran guesses that people from the Qingqing Taoist temple probably won't come back to the R city to find her. As Luodong starts school, the focus of the Lin family will be in the city for a long time. Lin Luoran can't bear to leave Goldie alone in Mount Qingqing. She decides to let it play by itself during the day and come back to the Lin's house in the city at night. Will it disturb the citizens? That's the government's problem. Lin Luoran thinks about it naughtily. The cyan little fox in her arms suddenly raises its head and looks at the sky alertly. In the night, Goldie's wings quietly appear above the Lin's house. Lin Luoran smiles. Although there are many things to worry about, most of the time, people feel comfortable and happy. That's enough. In fact, Lin Luoran is right. Taoist Hui Zhu, the abbot of the Qingqing Taoist temple, has wasted 8 teleport figures since he received the news that there are still cultivators in the level of bearing essence in Huaxia. With Xiao An's personal ability, he can draw magic figures like the teleport figure. Though it is slow, it is enough for him to supply the orders of the big forces. Since he entered the middle stage of training Qi, many magic figures have been drawn by him. However, he has never received any feedback that the effect is not enough, which means that An's drawing is very good. However, today, Taoist Huizhu, who hasn't drawn low-rank magic figures for a long time, is drawing the teleport figure by himself. Drawing figures is about the integration of essence, qi, and spirit. The combination of the person, the brush, the environment, and the movement of the figure can make a successful figure in one go. Therefore, practicing the art of drawing figures is the best way for a cultivator to calm his mind. Maybe Huizhu draws the teleport figure by himself to calm his mind, but it doesn't seem to be very effective. He has wasted 8 pieces of figure paper. In today's world, the Reiki of heaven and earth is disappearing, and the price of the materials for drawing figures is rising. Even Huizhu can't keep wasting materials like this. Therefore, he stops drawing wisely. Seeing that An is about to say something, Huizhu puts down his brush and says calmly, "Do you think that I want to ask her about the cultivators in the level of bearing essence?" And doesn't dare to answer. He lowers his head. He only knows that his grandmaster has been in the late stage of laying foundation for as long as he can remember. Even if his grandmaster wants to advance, it is not a wrong idea. Thinking of this, An plucks up his courage. "I would like to go to the Lin's house in person to rebuild our friendship." Huizhu laughs. "You are really good at cooking. You have no talent for interpersonal communication." And is embarrassed. Huizhu pauses for a second and says, "Rebuild our friendship? I don't need to lower my head to a new cultivator in the level of laying foundation. What I care about is whether the road of heaven in the desert really exists." Chapter 201. Though Lin Luoran has just returned home, she has a lot of things to do. First of all, she can keep Baojia's accident from her parents, but she has to tell Commander Qin about it. Therefore, Lin Luoran goes to the military compound early in the morning. Commander Qin, who has retired due to illness, still lives in that small building. Even though the old man has retired, his old friends and subordinates in the army are still there, so no one dares to hurt him. Therefore, Lin Luoran enters the military compound smoothly. When she arrives at Commander Qin's small building, the old man is practicing boxing on the grass. Lin Luoran doesn't disturb him. She stands aside quietly, waiting for Commander Qin to finish his morning exercise. The old man seems to be practicing the military boxing in the army. Lin Luoran has practiced some fancy moves with the drill master during the military training, so she is very familiar with it. Of course, the military boxing in Commander Qin's hands is quite different from the fancy but impractical boxing that Lin Luoran used to practice. Commander Qin doesn't look murderous, but his punches are full of vigor, which shows the power of this boxing in his hands. Where the wind blows, the trees move, but the grass stays still. Lin Luoran doesn't know that Commander Qin is a master of internal martial arts. Commander Qin stops practicing, takes the towel from Lu Sanchun and wipes his sweat. "You little girl, what kind of wind blew you here today? You're actually willing to come see an old man like me." Lin Luoran doesn't hide on purpose, so it's not strange that Commander Qin sees her. She smiles flatteringly and calls him Grandpa Qin. She says a lot of sweet words, and Commander Qin doesn't let her go until she is almost empty. Lin Luoran realizes that she hasn't seen Commander Qin for a long time. After 3 years in the blood pool underground, Commander Qin has grown a few years older. However, he doesn't look old at all. Is it because of the strange ginseng that is said to be fed by the crazy Taoist, or the effect of practicing internal martial arts? Lin Luoran cares about this question because she wants to prolong the life of her mother who can't cultivate. Of course, these are all private inquiries. Lin Luoran doesn't dare to give him gifts from the world of cultivation. However, the Dahongpo twigs she stole from Wui Mountain are growing well in the space. Lin Luoran has picked them several times. Because of the space, the tender tea leaves can be preserved for a long time. Lin Luoran has accumulated a lot of tea leaves. She wants to find an old master to fry them, but she is almost arrested by the old master. Lin Luoran's tea leaves are kept in the most tender state, which is the standard pre-rain tea. The problem is that it is in autumn now. Where can she find such tea leaves? Besides, the old master had never touched the mother tree, Dahong Pao, but he was still able to tell the difference between good and bad. He knew the quality of the tea leaves, so how could the honest master who had been brewing tea for his entire life not be bewildered? However, Lin Luoran still can't get the tea leaves now. Compared with ordinary rock tea, Dahongpo is much more precious. Compared with ordinary rock tea, the roasting process of Dahongpao tea is much more complicated: sun-drying, cooling, stir-frying, initial kneading, refrying, rekneading, water roasting, winnowing, cooling, picking, re-roasting, winnowing again, and adding fire. Every step is indispensable. Besides, the season for roasting tea has actually passed, so Lin Luoran still has to wait for a long time to make good tea. Therefore, what Lin Luoran gives to Commander Qin is a gift from Master Mu. Lin Luoran gives the Dahongpo to Commander Qin as a gift from Master Mu. It's good tea. Commander Qin takes a sip. He is very satisfied with the gift. Lin Luoran doesn't mention the Dahongpo tree. The old master is a law-abiding man. Picking the Dahongpo tree from the mother tree has been forbidden for a long time. Lin Luoran feels that Commander Qin won't accept it even if she tells him. Lin Luoran tells Commander Qin about Baojia uneasily. Commander Qin's hand holding the teacup is stiff. He is obviously worried. However, he only asks one question in the end. Master, is he all right? Well, although the crazy Taoist has a close relationship with the Qin family, Baojia is Commander Qin's only granddaughter. Shouldn't he ask about Baojia first? Lin Luoran suppresses her surprise and tells Commander Qin about the crazy Taoist. Commander Qin gradually relaxes his eyebrows. In the end, he is still worried, but he is smiling. Luoran, are you going to ask me why I don't ask about Baojia? Commander Qin smiles and winks mischievously. Lin Luoran still remembers how he looked when she first met him. After the Zhou family's revenge and Commander Qin's retirement due to illness, he doesn't seem to have aged at all. Lin Luoran feels guilty not only because she took Baojia to Africa, but also because of her. In fact, Commander Qin wants Baojia to cultivate, and Lin Luoran also wants Baojia to cultivate. However, no one has ever asked Baojia if she really wants to cultivate. Now, if Baojia doesn't wake up, Lin Luoran won't even have the chance to ask. It's not that I don't want to ask, but Baojia has become a Taoist. I can't protect her for the rest of her life. She has to let go eventually. Isn't it the same sooner or later? Even if she died in front of the old man would still accompany her after a few years. If she is lucky enough to survive, she can find a chance to become an immortal. Thanks to you, I can rest assured. Commander Qin says leisurely, and he comes to a conclusion slowly. I can't participate in Baojia's life anymore, so I won't give any advice. If she is really as innocent as a piece of white paper after she wakes up, I will take care of her as long as I am alive. When I die, I will entrust her to you. So, you don't have to feel guilty or worried about her. Every path of life has its trials and tribulations. For example, the old man had been hit by shrapnel and brushed past bullets countless times when he was in a war. Wealth has always been a struggle against nature, let alone cultivation against nature. How can there be no risk? Commander Qin says slowly. Lin Luoran has never heard anyone analyze cultivation in this way, and she is gradually fascinated. Although Commander Qin is not a cultivator, his life experience is no less wonderful than that of a cultivator. Lin Luoran gains a lot from listening to his life experience. What does cultivation need? Talent, magic weapons, spells, adventures? Perhaps the most important thing is a brave heart. If Lin Luoran has a preconceived idea about adventure because of Baojia's accident, and she becomes timid on the path of cultivation, it may not be worth it. As Commander Qin said, even if Baojia wakes up and is as innocent as a piece of white paper, Lin Luoran will give her the best life and not let her suffer. Instead of feeling guilty and uneasy, it is better to find the soul wood and save Baojia as soon as possible. Lin Luoran sits on the sofa casually. Commander Qin's words can't be more ordinary. However, when she thinks it through, she feels a breeze in her ocean of consciousness, and her mind is clear. She hasn't been in such a state of mind for a long time. Did he make progress again? Lin Luoran doesn't care about it at the moment. She just enjoys the feeling. Chapter 202. When people talk about the Nine Eyes Bridge in the R City, they all smile. Every city has some tacit landmarks that have nothing to do with romance. They belong to the local people's tacit understanding. For example, the Jiyan Bridge in Chengdu. Some small bars are just the surface. In fact, the reason why it is deeply rooted in people's hearts is to get a permit. That's right, the latest second-generation ID card, graduation certificate, certain work qualification certificate. As long as you could think of a fake certificate, there was nothing that the Nine-Eyed Bridge couldn't do. Putting aside how many illegal crimes these fake certificates could bring, from a technical point of view, it really was a magical place where there were specializations in the field. However, the Nine Eyes Bridge is adjacent to the best university in the R City. Lin Luoran gets off the taxi and walks to the east gate of the University of Chuan. Class is over. Many students are walking into the small restaurants around the school gate with books in their arms. Lin Luoran, who is wearing a hat, easily squeezes into the crowd without attracting any attention because there are many students who are in a hurry to eat. Lin Luoran walks past them in the shady campus. Their young but energetic faces remind her of her college days. Now that she thinks about it, she feels quite regretful that she has lost contact with all her college classmates except for Baojia because she dropped out of school before graduation and her life has always been unsatisfactory. Now she has the chance to go back to school again. Lin Luoran must cherish it. Lin Luoran asks a student for directions to the office of the Department of Chinese and Literature. Lin Luoran thanks the student and goes straight to the office building. The student is left in a daze. Since when does the Chuan University have a campus bell? Rong's roommate, Yen Feng, pats him on the shoulder and says, "Let's go. There are no seats left." Yen Feng smiles and says, "Don't say that I don't take care of you. I just saw a pretty girl and she asked for directions to the office of the Department of Chinese and Literature. You are such an idiot. She must be a freshman. I don't see you mentioning her in your dorm. Bless." Yen points at the direction where Lin Luoran disappeared and sighs. Rong is confused by Yen Feng's question. He has no time to care about these campus bells. However, he still looks at the direction Yen Feng is pointing at. The girl is wearing ordinary clothes. Her black hair is hidden under the brim of her hat. She has a slim figure. Because Yen Feng can't see her face clearly, Rong doesn't know what the campus bells looks like. Except that her back looks familiar? Rong dismisses this ridiculous idea. He is busy making a living every day. He doesn't know any campus bell. She must be someone he doesn't know. Thinking that he doesn't have any classes in the afternoon, Rong takes Yen Feng, who is reluctant to leave, to a small restaurant. Lin Luoran suddenly turns around and sees the backs of the two boys. She has a photographic memory now and she recognizes one of them is Rong Donglin, whom she has met once. What a coincidence! Luodong meets Rong on the train to Shi. It turns out that Rong is studying at the nearby Chuan University. Luodong often talks about Rong when he comes back. Luodong must be happy now. Lin Luoran has an appointment with Rong, so she can't stop Rong. Anyway, they are in the same school and there will be many opportunities for them to meet in the future. Lin Luoran smiles and goes straight to the 4th floor. After asking around in detail, she knocked on the door of an office. "The door is open, come in." The voice of an old man rings. Lin Luoran pushes open the half-closed door and sees an old man in a Chinese tunic suit. He is buried in a pile of documents with glasses. "Professor Chi, I've contacted you before. Do you have time now?" Professor Chi wipes his glasses and smiles. "It's you." "Yes, I do. Let's talk in detail." Lin Luoran has contacted Professor Chi several times. She wants to be his student and learn ancient Chinese characters as a research direction. Professor Chi is happy to hear that Lin Luoran is willing to pay the tuition fee and doesn't need a diploma. She only wants to study ancient Huaxia characters and literature. Nowadays, people are not what they used to be. Professor Chi rarely sees Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran has been embarrassed several times. The more she cultivates, the more she feels that she lacks knowledge. Lin Luoran has made up her mind to go back to school again. She didn't think it was a waste of time to use cultivation time to study. Knowledge was like aged wine. the longer it stayed, the more fragrant it would be. You might think that it was an investment of youth, but one day it would give you an unexpected return. Besides, in this world, even the world of cultivation doesn't know where to find the soul wood. Only in the long history of Huaxia, Lin Luoran has read about it between the lines. As long as there is a chance, Lin Luoran will not give it up. A public primary school in our city. Although it is not a primary school for the nobles, and the students here are not as extravagant as those in other primary schools. However, due to the restrictions of household registration, the students who can enter this primary school are either from a poor family or from a poor family. Those who are born in a rich and powerful family seldom bully others. Instead, they usually keep a low profile. The ones who often make a racket are those who are not as good as the poor. For example, there were a few children in class 3 of the 6th grade. Their parents either had some spare cash or a little bit of power. They formed cliques, and their most common targets of bullying were students who didn't seem to have a good family background. In the beginning, Luo Dong was not one of them. His clothes were not luxurious, but he had Li Shi-er's credit card. Besides, Baojia was his advisor. Even the shirt under his school uniform was carefully chosen by Luo Dong. Details tell the truth. Luo Dong is good-looking. Even though he is shy, many girls in the class like to play with him. Luo Dong blushes every time, but he is polite to them. If things have always been like this should be a peaceful but warm primary school life. Until one day, when the school is doing insurance, one of the naughty students accidentally learns that Luo Dong's household registration is in the countryside. Under the lead of the snobbish students, everyone's attitude towards Luo Dong changes. It turns out that he is from the countryside, and he is dressed well. His family will have to save a lot of money on groceries. Haha, didn't you say that he looks like a little prince? Nonsense, he doesn't. Maybe it's because Luo Dong's real identity is so different from the real one. Many students feel that they have been deceived and ignore Luo Dong. It is not a big deal for children to be straightforward. However, under the guidance of some naughty students, Luo Dong is isolated from the 3rd class. The naughty students always provoke Luo Dong. Luo Dong's school life is not very happy. When Lin Luoran was missing, the Lin family was in trouble. Luo Dong was too sensible and didn't say anything. Seeing that Luo Dong had no support from his parents, the naughty students in the class went too far. However, after the summer vacation this year, the 12-year-old Luo Dong seems to be different. Elementary school students are very alert. Before they figure out what happened to Luo Dong, they start to bully Luo Dong. In the classroom of the 3rd class of the 6th grade, Luo Dong is reciting English words. Seeing the small group led by Ma Ming walking to the corner, Luo Dong grabs the book tightly. He feels that they are in the same boat. In the corner is Huang Weijian, who just transferred to this school this semester. He is honest and dull, which reminds Luo Dong of his old self. Seeing Ma Ming instructing the others to tear Huang's book, Luo Dong stands up and says, "Hey, we are all classmates. Don't go too far." Chapter 203. Huang Weijian is a new student who just transferred to this school this semester. He wears an old-fashioned long johns under his thin school uniform. His bangs cover most of his face. If that's all, he looks like a quiet and introverted boy. However, he carries a canvas bag that has been extinct since the last century every day. Therefore, 1 month after he transferred to this school, he successfully takes over Luo Dong's position and becomes the most bullied student in the 3rd class of the 6th grade. For example, after class, Ma Ming feels that Huang Weijian, who is sitting in his seat with his head down, is not pleasing to the eye. Therefore, he takes the initiative to provoke Huang. However, Huang Weijian is a taciturn person. No matter what Ma Ming says, Huang Weijian just keeps his head down. Ma Ming hates Huang Weijian even more. In a few minutes, the situation finally developed to the point where Ma Ming ordered his followers to tear the book. "Hey, we are all classmates. Don't go too far." Luo Dong hesitates and is afraid. However, when he says it out loud, he finds that it is not so difficult. Ma Ming and his lackeys are stunned for a second and then burst into laughter. "Luo Dong, mind your own business. Do you think that you are a city dweller now that you come back? Bullshit. Maybe you downloaded those photos from the internet. Stop pretending to be rich. Luo Dong has a good temper, but Ma Ming has a foul mouth. His arrogant tone always makes Luo Dong want to beat him up. This summer, Luo Dong went on a trip with his sister. They went north and then south. Luo Dong cherished the days in the mountains, enjoying the dew and singing birds. Luo Dong printed out all the photos. Luo Dong's family wants to train Luo Dong to be independent, so Luo Dong does everything for him. Luo Dong picks up the photos during lunch break and plans to take them home after school. Unfortunately, his desk mate bumps into the bag and the photos are all over the floor. The high-definition photos taken by the SR camera show the patterns on the butterfly's back clearly and the dew in the middle of the flower is crystal clear. Luo Dong clumsily takes some photos of Luo Dong's face, but he only gets a small part of Luo Dong's face. Luo Dong's classmates who used to look down on Luo Dong are astonished. Kids nowadays are smart and have a lot of information. It's not strange that they know about DSLR cameras. The better kids can easily buy tens of thousands of DSLR cameras. Luo Dong's classmates learn that Luo Dong took these photos with his sister on a trip to Mount Hua during the summer vacation. Luo Dong is a poor kid from the countryside. In fact, they are all 11 or 12 years old. They are not snobbish to this extent. They are just afraid that they will be isolated when someone takes the lead to get close to Luo Dong and laugh at them. This is the trick of Ma Ming's group. After the photo incident, people start to treat Luo Dong better. Ma Ming is the only one who doesn't give up. He still tries to isolate Luo Dong and doubts the authenticity of the photo. Luo Dong doesn't want to argue with these people, nor does he want to explain. He is becoming more and more cheerful. Finally, someone is speaking up for Luo Dong. His desk mate, who was a study commissary, was the first to stand up. Ma Ming, we are classmates. It's wrong of you to tear Huang's book. Now you are treating Luo Dong like this. That's too much. The little tyrant Ma Ming glared at her. Wei Shui, this is a matter between us guys, it's none of your business. I told you guys earlier, he's just a poor guy from the countryside, pretending to be a rich young master. Don't tell me you've fallen for this guy, that's why you're so concerned about him? Wei Shui, why didn't I know that you are so vain before? The little girl is speechless after Ma Ming accuses her of being greedy for money and loving the rich. Primary school students are more obedient to the class leaders. Ever since she became the study commissary, she has never been humiliated like this. Tears are rolling in her eyes. She is about to cry. In addition, there were a few people in the classroom who were looking at her suspiciously. Wei Shui thought of the term puppy love that her cousins mentioned. She finally couldn't hold back her tears and they flowed down. Ma Ming and his friends laugh. They throw Huang's stationery box into the dustbin and walk to Luo Dong with their arms around each other's shoulders. Wei Shui is too weak. Luo Dong, you should find a better backer next time and pretend to be rich. Ha ha ha, I don't need a backer. Lin Luo Dong stares at Ma Ming, who is laughing so hard that he says it seriously. What? Ma Ming doesn't hear it clearly. Maybe he does. He doesn't believe that Luo Dong can say such tough words, so he asks again. Luo Dong sighs and says again, I don't need a backer. I'm going to hit you. His fist is not strong. However, after the training of rock climbing, he can punch suddenly. Ma Ming, who is a little fat boy, can't dodge it. Ma Ming covers his nose and falls back. His followers catch him so that he doesn't fall to the ground. He didn't expect that Luo Dong would dare to hit him. After all, they have bullied Luo Dong for so long that they know him well. More importantly, who would hit someone and tell him that he is going to hit him? Ma Ming feels something warm in his palm. He spreads it out and finds that his hand is all red. He has a nosebleed. This makes the little fat boy ignore his impression of Luo Dong. Luo Dong seems to be different now. Beat him to death. The followers are hesitant. Ma Ming adds, it's my treat this afternoon. Hearing the great reward, the followers don't hesitate anymore. They all rush to Luo Dong. Boys don't know how to control their strength when they fight. Luo Dong has been eating vegetables in the space all year round, so he is strong. However, he still can't fight against them. Seeing that the fight is getting fiercer, people in the classroom want to report to the teachers secretly. However, Ma Ming, who is still nosebleed, blocks the door and says, "Who dares to report to the teacher? Beat him too." He glares at Wei Shui after saying this. Seeing that Luo Dong is fighting with several people, Wei Shui looks at Huang Weijian, who is the cause of the conflict. She screams, "Huang Weijian, are you a man or not?" Huang Weijian wants to take his old canvas bag several times. In the end, he retracts his hand and stares at Wei Shui seriously. He says, "Actually, I'm just a boy at most." It seems to be the first time for him to speak in class. Before Wei Shui has time to be surprised, she is almost driven mad by what he said. As a representative of good students, it is true that she does not like to see classmates fighting, but this kind of person who just watches others fight and hides behind others when others help him. Wei Shui feels that this kind of person is even more abominable than the person who fights. Huang Weijian naturally felt the disdain from the commissary in charge of studies. He took another look at the canvas bag. Anyway, he was despised, so he was no longer hesitant. "I didn't ask him for help, did I?" Huang Weijian tries to convince himself. However, seeing that Luo Dong seems to be fighting for him, he lowers his head stiffly to hide the unnaturalness in his eyes. When the boys are fighting and Ma Ming is wiping the blood from his nose, a voice comes from outside the window. "Teacher Chiu, is this the harmonious 6th grade class 3 that you were talking about?" The voice is as familiar as spring water. Luo Dong is stunned. He is hit in the face by a kid and his mouth is bleeding. "Stop it." The homeroom teacher pushed away the little fatty who was blocking the door. He felt his face burning. He had just been bragging in front of the beautiful girl about the quality of the school's teaching and how good the atmosphere in class 3 was. Now, these naughty kids immediately used reality to slap him in the face. This made the single male homeroom teacher, who was older than he was, furious. What's more, the person who is visiting is being beaten by the naughtiest students in the class. The head teacher feels that his ears are burning. No matter how arrogant the students are, they are still afraid of the teacher, especially the head teacher. They all stop fighting and don't dare to say a word. "Tell me, what's going on?" The head teacher is furious. If he didn't have to keep his image, he would be even worse. Wei Shui, the commissary in charge of studies, tells the head teacher the whole story. The head teacher is in a dilemma. Though it sounds like Good Samaritan, it is Luo Dong who started it. What should he do? Luo Dong sneaks a glance at the door. Lin Luoran is standing there quietly. Luo Dong can't tell if she is happy or angry. Wei Shui suddenly exclaims, "You are Luo Dong's sister." The girl has a good memory. She can recognize Luo Dong's sister even though she has only seen half of Luo Dong's face. Now even Ma Ming and others are attracted by her scream, including Huang Weijian. Luo Dong's sister looks like a movie star. Damn it! Why can't she be my sister? Ma Ming thinks angrily. He feels a little embarrassed that he hit Luo Dong's brother in front of his sister. Huang Weijian glances at Luo Dong and turns his head quickly. He doesn't notice that Lin Luoran has been looking at him secretly. Lin Luoran stops looking at Luo Dong and says with a faint smile, "Just do what you need to do. Luo Dong is too young. Sorry to bother you." Luo Dong breathes a sigh of relief. Ma Ming and his friends are sad. The head teacher tells them to go to the office together. Wei Shui walks at the back. She sobs, "It's not Luo Dong's fault. It was Ma Ming and the others who started it. They bullied Huang Weijian and then scolded me. That's why Luo Dong fought with them." Lin Luoran nods, showing that she believes what the girl said. Wei Shui catches up with Luo Dong. She is the witness. Of course, she has to go to the office with Luo Dong. In fact, Lin Luoran's eyes have been on Huang Weijian, who is following the crowd silently. As the fuse of the incident, this boy is too low-key. However, Lin Luoran is really curious about how Huang Weijian tolerates being bullied, having his homework torn into pieces, and facing all kinds of provocations from other children. It seems that he transferred to this school this semester. Is it a coincidence, or is it arranged by someone? Lin Luoran narrows her eyes. People who know her well know that this is a very dangerous signal. Chapter 204. In front of Lin Luoran, the head teacher doesn't treat the fight as a fight. It is just a small conflict between students. The head teacher wants to invite Ma Ming's parents. Lin Luoran subtly refuses the excessive attention of the head teacher. Since it is just a small conflict, there is no need to inform Ma Ming's parents. In the end, Lin Luoran is punished by the head teacher. They will be responsible for cleaning the classroom for half a month. From what happened today, Lin Luoran can imagine what Luo Dong has been through in the past. She feels sorry for Luo Dong, but she is also happy for his growth. Lin Luoran waits for Luo Dong to finish cleaning the classroom so that she can take him home. Seeing Luo Dong getting into the BMW with his sister who is like a movie star, Ma Ming spits in disdain, "Bah! Nouveau riche." As soon as he finishes his words, his father, who is wearing a big gemstone ring and a tight suit, who looks exactly like an enlarged version of Ma Ming, drives a car to pick him up in person to show the affection between father and son. Coincidentally, Ma Ming is driving a BMW. When his father shouts, "Xiaoming," Wei Shui bursts into laughter. Ma Ming can't keep his face straight. He doesn't even have time to say goodbye to his followers. He quickly gets into the back seat of the car and disappears. Because of cleaning, they are the last group of people to leave the campus. It is not until Wei Shui's mother comes to pick her up that she sees Huang Weijian slowly coming out of the school gate, holding the torn book in his hand, his head still down. Wei Shui snorts and turns her face to show her dissatisfaction. Huang doesn't say anything. He walks slowly into the crowd with the book in his hand. The setting sun gilded the silent youth with some golden light, concealing some of his shabbiness. At the corner of the street, Lin Luoran is sitting in the car, staring at the direction of Huang's departure. Seeing her in a daze, Luo Dong calls her sister in a low voice. Lin Luoran comes back to herself and says with a smile, "Your classmate is interesting. Luo Dong, you don't have much homework today, do you?" Luo Dong shakes his head. He doesn't understand why his sister is so interested in Huang. Besides, what does it have to do with homework? Luo Dong has so many questions in his mind. However, he doesn't dare to ask more because Lin Luoran caught him in the fight. Autumn gradually came, and the nights were long and the days were short. The neon lights on the streets of Rong City quietly lit up. The young boy with his bangs covering his eyes didn't seem to smell the aroma of the dishes from the roadside restaurants. Like an agile kitten, he slipped into an alley in the bustling city. The further they walked, the more secluded they became. Finally, they arrived at an old neighborhood. This is a residential area adjacent to the lotus pond of the wholesale market in Rong City. There are frequent movements of people. It is a complicated place that is prone to trouble. Huang Weijian is alone. He passes through the noisy crowd and goes up to the 7th floor. Although it was called a building, it was actually just a small iron house. The entire surface was mottled and peeling, and it looked like it had been there for many years. Strictly speaking, these buildings were illegal buildings. They were built by the residents of the community to be rented out to outsiders. Huang Weijian doesn't make a fire to cook as usual. Instead, he takes out half a bottle of glue from a pile of junk and carefully sticks the textbook torn by Ma Ming on the broken table. There are a lot of clean waste paper and plastic bottles piled high against the iron house. Finally, he sticks the textbook. Huang Weijian seems to be relieved. For the first time, his silent and childish face shows an emotion called happiness. Then he starts to do his homework. Both his stationery and his school bag are so shabby that they blend in with the environment here. Even his homework is obviously made of many old books. It's getting dark. Huang Weijian is lying on the broken table. Because of the dim light, he seems to be struggling to write, but he hasn't turned on the light all the time. Most people can guess what's going on. Inside the small iron house, you can see everything clearly. A single bed made of wood, some clothes, a lame cupboard for daily necessities, an iron pot, bowls, chopsticks, a plastic basin, and nothing else. That's all there is in the iron house. Even if you take a closer look, you can only see a rusty lamp without a bulb in the iron house. It can barely be regarded as an electrical appliance. Obviously, the iron house where Huang Weijian lives is poor. Fortunately, as Lin Luodong said, there is not much homework today. Huang Weijian finally finishes it before the sun completely sets. He puts away the books and sets up the iron pot. It seems that he is going to cook by himself. However, there is still no parent in the iron house. Huang Weijian's dinner is very simple. He has a small pot of rice, pickles, and chili sauce. For a boy of 11 or 12 years of age, it was unknown what kind of life experience he had gone through, but he was able to skillfully use a simple stove made of 3 fire bricks. He relied on rotten wood and firewood to cook just the right amount of rice in an iron pot. The preciousness of the food made this kind of meal seem especially delicious. Huang Weijian is about to eat some rice. When his chopsticks touch the pickles, he hears footsteps coming from the stairwell. A chubby woman appears at the stairwell. Seeing Huang Weijian eating, she seems to struggle for a while, but still comes up. "Aunt Lu." Huang Weijian puts down the bowl and chopsticks and stands up quickly. The way he calls her shows that she is not his family. "You are so polite. Eat quickly, or you will be out of sight." The chubby woman waves her hand, motioning him to sit down. She seems to know about Huang Weijian's situation, so she signals the boy to eat quickly. Huang Weijian does not sit down. "Aunt Lu, about the rent." Aunt Lu blushes. "I am not here to urge you. We watched you grow up and we all know you. It's just that your sister Xan needs to pay tuition fees." "I really..." She says she is not urging him, but her words imply that his family is in trouble and needs money. How can Huang Weijian sit still? "Aunt Lu, I understand. Please wait." Huang Weijian opens the door of the iron house and takes out a stack of notes from under the bed. There are 100 yuan bills and a few cents in change. There are hundreds of yuan in total. He hands it to Aunt Lu. "Did you save all this money by picking up trash?" Although Aunt Lu is here to urge the rent, she feels a little embarrassed to take the boy's hard-earned money. The stack of notes becomes hot, making her unable to say the words she has prepared. Huang Weijian smiles shyly. "I saved it by picking up trash. Aunt Lu, please take it first. I will pay off the rest as soon as possible." Aunt Lu can't say anything more. She sighs. "You are so bitter and stubborn. In fact, your grandpa..." Huang Weijian lowers his head. "Grandpa said he would be back soon. He wouldn't lie to me." Thinking that this boy is the same age as her daughter, Aunt Lu softens her heart. She doesn't mention Huang Weijian's grandpa anymore. She even forgets to remind him to pay the rent as soon as possible. She encourages him and goes downstairs. Watching Aunt Lu disappear in the corridor, Huang Weijian let out a sigh of relief and murmured, "I've been missing for a few months. I don't even have money to pay the rent. Why did she transfer me to this primary school before she disappeared? If the tuition was not refundable, I wouldn't be in such a difficult situation." He complains about his missing grandpa in his tone. The boy mutters a few words to himself, and finally turns all his grievances into appetite. He fiercely eats up a small pot of rice, leaving not even a grain of rice. Huang Weijian washes the bowls and chopsticks at the faucet on the rooftop and cleans up the unfinished spicy sauce. He sits on the broken bench and stares blankly for a while. There is only a small ball of rice left in the bag. Even if he only eats, it won't last for a few days. In order not to waste the tuition, he has to study, but he also has to live. Huang Weijian can't help but whisper, "Where can I get a lot of money?" He thinks for a while, but it doesn't seem to work. He shakes his head and smiles bitterly. Finally, he picks up the snakeskin bag for picking up trash and a pair of tongs. He locks up the poor tin house and goes downstairs. A voice of pity comes from the window of Aunt Lu's house downstairs. "Did the boy go to pick up trash again? He is so pitiful." Another male voice says impatiently, "Who is not pitiful in this day and age?" Prices have risen a lot, but wages have not risen a dime. Don't we feel pity for him? If he can't pay the rent. The male voice seems to be blocked by something and stops abruptly. However, Huang Weijian, who is walking on the stairs, still hears the rest of the words. He squeezes the snakeskin bag harder and finally decides to pick up more trash tonight. It doesn't matter if he goes to bed later. A wild cat jumps from the rooftop. It seems to have smelled the leftover rice. However, Huang is too careful when eating, so there is no leftover rice for it to snack on. The wild cat is very angry that it has come here for nothing. It scratches the broken table and is about to take away the canvas bag that Huang left on the table. Not far away, there is a noise. The wild cat is scared and quickly runs back the way it came. Two figures appeared on the opposite rooftop. Fortunately, it was already dark. Otherwise, the sudden appearance of a living person would really scare people to death. Luodong feels embarrassed for peeping at his classmates' embarrassment. It turns out that Huang Weijian's family is so poor. It seems that he is an orphan. No wonder he looks so much like Luodong. Luodong suddenly feels closer to the new classmate who went out with the snakeskin bag. Although he doesn't understand why his sister sneaks up, Luodong feels that this trip is not a complete waste. "Sister," he calls softly. Lin stares at the canvas bag and suddenly smiles. "Interesting. Luodong, your new classmate is not simple." Chapter 205. So where is Yi Xiaobei now? As the last direct descendant of the Yi family in Zhu Mountain, Yi Xiaobei is 22 years old. His personal ability is not high, but his talent is not bad. It is a pity that the Wen family has not had an heir with the Taoist root for 2 generations. It is even worse than the Xinyuan family. The Wen family has already fallen into the mortal world. Finally, Yi Xiaobei is born with the expectation of 2 generations. The Yi family is no longer as glorious as before. When Guanjing, who has the same status as them, reached the middle stage of training qi when he was 22 years old. He led the cultivators of the special department all over the world. Yi Xiaobei is 22 years old, but he is still an otaku deep in the mountains. The Yi family is no longer a cultivator, but they are not poor. Yi Xiaobei goes to the mountains with an internet cable. He never contacts others except for soaking in jars. Chu Yi knows him because of their online friendship. Such an otaku is willing to come out of the mountains because of Yi Xiaobei's far-sighted grandma. Grandma Yi said that as long as he can go to the Tower of Babel, she will officially pass on the Baihong sword, which has been passed down in the Yi family for many generations. Many otaku love cute girls, and Yi Xiaobei is no exception. After Li Shi-er's photo was exposed in the tribe for cultivators, the former Sister Li, now Sister Li, has become the dream lover of many young cultivators, including Yi Xiaobei. However, otaku also knows that even if he wants to get a cute girl, he must have an advantage. Money in the mortal world? He had never heard of anyone who was short of money. Power? Hey, cultivators are obsessed with power. How can they concentrate on cultivation? Not everyone is like Minister Chen Yun. Family background? 2 generations ago, the Yi family could still be said to be a cultivation family with a rich heritage. Now, they were like a tiger with its teeth pulled out. The Yi family had long lost the qualifications to be compared with the Wen family. Naturally, this category was also passed. As for appearance, if Yi Xiaobei dresses up well, he can be regarded as a sunshine boy. He can definitely make girls of 15 or 16 years old fall in love with him. However, this is not the mortal world, but the world of cultivation. There are many people like him. Therefore, as soon as Yi Xiaobei hears that it is Baihong sword, he unplugs the network cable and moves out of the door without thinking. The Zhu Mountain School has been divided for a long time. The 2 biggest families are the Yi family and the Wen family. The Wen family inherits the Cyan Rainbow Sword, and the Yi family inherits the Baihong sword. It is a magic weapon above grade 5. Some people say it is grade 2. No one knows whether it is true or not, but Yi Xiaobei wants it very much. Powerful martial strength was the source of confidence for a man. The Taka Yi Xiaobei righteously follows the team to the Tower of Babel. However, he is timid at the last moment. He is afraid that he will encounter a difficult checkpoint if he is in a team with a higher cultivation, so he chooses to be alone. With the help of the Tower of Babel, Yi Xiaobei gets what he wants and gets to the safest place. When he was thirsty, he could make water out of thin air. When he was hungry, he could eat. Nothing could be more carefree than this. Of course, if there were no phantom in fancy clothes and flying phoenix eyes, Yi Xiaobei's trial in the Tower of Babel would be really comfortable. Ancestor of the monsters of wood? Gossip thousands of years ago? At first, Yi Xiaobei thinks he is lucky to meet the will of the senior cultivator. These are all inheritances. Senior cultivator, do you have a super cultivation method that can help people reach the level of laying foundation in 1 year and become immortals in 100 years? The phantom faintly feels that his eyebrows are twitching. Senior cultivator, there should be an elixir that can help people to cultivate for 100 years, right? If the foundation is not stable, the further one cultivates, the more difficult it will be to go against the current. The phantom comforts him patiently. Well, stop talking. I know you don't have it. Senior cultivator, you should remember the cave before you become immortals, right? Yi Xiaobei is full of expectations. Isn't it all like this in the serial novels on the BBS? Meet the will of a master and get the mysterious inheritance. Soon, Yi Xiaobei knows that the group of nerdy cultivator writers on the BBS is bullshit. The gossip the phantom wants to talk about has nothing to do with cultivation methods, let alone inheritance. It talks about how a master's daughter fell in love with him thousands of years ago, how a black bear spirit transformed into an extremely beautiful woman, or how a scorpion spirit took a bath and all monsters peeped at it and were discovered by the scorpion spirit's husband. Such gossip is new to Yi Xiaobei. However, after being told by the phantom in the tone of a ladyboy for a few days, and every gossip is evidence of the phantom's narcissism, Yi Xiaobei almost goes crazy. He doesn't care about the senior cultivator and inheritance anymore. He pats the walls around him and wants to go out. The phantom shakes its head. This time I really don't lie to you. I will tell you about the adventure in Mount Penglai. Yi Xiaobei bangs his head against the wall. He doesn't want to listen. The phantom is a little helpless. The moral degeneration of the world is getting worse. Young people nowadays are really impatient. All right, I'll give you my most precious item. Yi Xiaobei's eyes light up. The phantom takes out a glowing green object and gives it to him. A book made of leaves? Does the phantom know that his surname is Yi and deliberately tease him? Yi Xiaobei screams, and the phantom is angry. You don't know what's good for you. Yi Xiaobei is kicked to the wall. This time, he doesn't hit the wall. He goes through it. The phantom hands over the leaf tree, smiles reluctantly, and then disappears into a puff of smoke. It was originally a strand of remnant will attached to the ancient book, and after 1,000 years, it had developed its own consciousness. However, the ancient book is precious and can't be buried in the extra-dimensional space of the Tower of Babel forever. If it hands over the ancient book, it will only turn into smoke. Alas, this little human cultivator is really impatient. It is rare that the ancestor is in a good mood and wants to talk about the trip to Mount Penglai, but he doesn't want to listen. Yi Xiaobei falls to the ground with a bang, and the leaf book in his hand flies out. He is dizzy because of the fall. When he looks up and sees so many people, he is even more surprised. Most otakus are introverted and are not used to people's attention. Yi Xiaobei climbs up timidly. He is not used to the legendary Master Lin staring at him with such bright eyes. It's rare to be lectured by the phantom of the ladyboy. Has he become more handsome? Yi Xiaobei is secretly happy. Then he finds that Master Lin is staring at the leaf book under his feet. Lin Luoran almost weeps with joy at the moment. Even the female monster who is alienated from the crowd is surprised and happy. The ancient book of the monsters of wood. The modifier of this sentence is that it is the ancient book of the monsters of wood that she lost. A green vine flies out of her hand and Yang Lisha catches it. Everyone looked at Yi Xiaobei with jealousy in their eyes. How could a pie fall from the sky hit this guy? He felt even more uneasy. The only acquaintance, Chu Iran, pats him on the shoulder. Xiaobei, you are so lucky. Lucky for what? Before Yi Xiaobei wakes up from the fall, the platform shakes violently again. Of course, the Tower of Babel won't collapse. Everyone who has returned from the checkpoint is thrown out mercilessly by the Tower of Babel. Lin Luoran holds the cyan little fox and Goldie in her arms. She is afraid to leave the two little guys in the Tower of Babel and get lost in the chaotic time and space. Mr. Lin has already jumped off the skeleton ship. Yuan Yi thinks for a while and grabs the mast of the ship. If no one is left in it, this ship is a good thing. It should be able to be thrown out with him. Even Grandpa Guar and Grandpa Mu don't let go of the two horses. They all say that they have gone to another world. Only the two horses are the witnesses. The earth shakes and everyone is thrown into the sand. There are two unattended date trees by the river. This is the place where everyone entered the Tower of Babel. The magnificent tower has disappeared and the crystal ball has sunk into the ground again. Not only are they dizzy from the fall, but there are also a group of locals in ragged clothes with powerful weapons pointing at them. The younger generation can't help but look at Lin Luoran. Master Lin, what should we do now? The lips of a small leader of a militant group in Iraq are trembling under his beard. They had received a tip-off that a group of tourists had gone missing. Since they had gone missing in the desert, didn't it mean that whoever found them would be able to get it? They have been searching nearby for many days and almost went into the river to fish out the body. When they are about to give up, this group of Huaxia people comes down from the sky. We just want to grab some food and clothes. Well, at most, we can add some gold jewelry. You don't have to scare us like this, do you? The small leader's outlook on life and the world are all shocked. He collapses when he meets Lin Luoran's indifferent gaze. He throws the machine gun in his hand into the sand, takes out the gold jewelry hidden in his belt, and gives it to Lin Luoran with both hands. His men all follow him. Master Lin is so powerful that many people are dazzled by her. After hearing Chu Yi's explanation, Yi Xiaobei, who is a nerd, starts to understand the meaning of finding the Book of Leaves. Pie, a big pie. After Master Mu and Master Gua talk for a while, Master Mu hands the Heart of Druid on a silver chain to Lin Luoran. Master, it may contain information about the Tower of Babel, which is very precious. Master Mu waves his hand. I can trust you. You are a good boy. You are cold on the outside but warm on the inside. We all know how you take care of us. First of all, you have prolonged Master Gua's life for many years. If he doesn't repay you, it will hurt his Taoist heart. Second of all, I have gained something, so I'm afraid that I have to do closed-door training to make a breakthrough. I don't have time to study the Heart of Druid. Chapter 206. In autumn, enjoying chrysanthemums and eating crabs is the best time to enjoy life. Crabs in our city are also on the market. Mrs. Lin spends half a day in the seafood market and buys a crab with the name of Yangqing Lake Hairy Crab. Mrs. Lin checks carefully to make sure that there are no needle holes and it doesn't look like a water-filled crab. Finally, she pays for it. As for whether it is from Yangqing Lake or not, even Lin Luoran, who is in the level of laying foundation, can't tell. Mrs. Lin has a lot of free time. When Lin Luoran was in the blood pool in the dungeon, Mrs. Lin and Mr. Lin went to get a driving license. After Lin Luoran came back from the Kalahari Desert, she bought an ordinary domestic car and gave the BMW she bought before to her parents. The BMW has a lot of space in the back seat and is convenient for shopping. Mrs. Lin bought a basket full of crabs, shrimps, and beef. In fact, the Lin family has gradually become vegetarian. After all, compared with ordinary food, vegetables and fruits in the space are much better in taste and nutrition. Mrs. Lin prepares a feast today because Luodong's classmates are coming to visit. Luodong was only 7 or 8 years old when he first came to the Lin family. 4 years have passed and the little boy with autism now has classmates and friends. This is a big deal for everyone in the Lin family. Of course, Wei Shui is the only one who agrees to visit the Lin family. In fact, Luodong also invited Huang Weijian, but Huang Weijian silently refused. Luodong was rejected by Huang. Knowing that Mrs. Lin is busy at home, Lin Luoran thinks of another person. Rong Donglin, who taught Luodong how to deal with people for the first time, will appear in the Lin family. Luodong will be very happy. Lin Luoran glances at her mother who is frying meatballs and picks up the car key. Mom, I need to go out. Mr. Lin comes in with a plate of washed crabs and Lin Luoran almost bumps into him. Mrs. Lin throws the meatballs into the pot and says, "Look at your daughter. She is so old and still so noisy. Everyone says that Luoran is only in her early 20s. Mr. Lin, who is usually honest, dares to argue with Mrs. Lin when it comes to his daughter. Mrs. Lin throws a vegetable leaf to Mr. Lin. When the leaf is about to cover Mr. Lin's face, it suddenly stops. Mr. Lin moves his fingers slightly and stops the leaf. Lin Luoran can release Reiki to control the falling leaves. With the help of elixirs and Reiki Jade, Mr. Lin can finally release Reiki. This is a sign that he has officially reached the early stage of training Qi. Mr. Lin's next step is to learn spells of the 5 elements. Seeing Mr. Lin's progress in cultivation, Mrs. Lin inevitably feels gloomy. She already knew that she couldn't cultivate for the time being. Although her daughter said that there was a solution, how could she not be worried when it wasn't implemented? She didn't want to live forever, nor did she want to have the ability to topple mountains and overturn seas. She only wanted to cultivate so that she could stay by her husband and daughter's side for a long time. Having been with his wife for decades, Mr. Lin knows his wife better than anyone else. Looking at her expression, he knows that she thinks too much. However, the more he talks about it, the more the listener cares about it. Putting the crabs on the table, Mr. Lin makes up his mind that if his wife can't cultivate, he will. All right, if you don't scoop it up, the meatballs will be burnt. Go, go, go. Let's go and pick the vegetables. Mrs. Lin gets rid of her messy thoughts and starts to fry the meatballs. Goldie is pacing in the yard. The smell of meat from the kitchen makes it hungry. Its master told it to hide today and it might as well go to the mountains to catch some game. The sun is setting. Luodong is about to leave school. Compared with the warm and relaxed atmosphere of Lin's family, Rong has been having a hard time these days. The uneasiness in his heart was confirmed. On the next day, a few burly men, who looked like they were idle members of society, blocked his dormitory. They don't beat him at first. Instead, they hand Rong a bill of 140,000 yuan, which is for repairing his car. Except for Yen Feng, all the other students in the dorm are from ordinary families. They have never seen such a scene. Yen Feng says that he won't pay the bill, but he is thrown out of the dorm by a man with a scorpion tattoo on his arm. At that time, Yen Feng only asks Rong to think about it. The situation is not serious. Everyone in the dorm agrees that they won't pay the bill. Besides, if Rong can afford 140,000 yuan, he won't have to work so many jobs at the same time. Yen Feng says that if these people come again, he will call the police. Rong was not in the wrong at that time, and Yen Feng claims that he can be a witness. Yen Feng doesn't think it is a serious matter, so he doesn't report it to the school. However, the next day these people come again. Compared with yesterday, they come prepared this time. On the note they hand to Rong, there is the address of Rong's hometown and the information of his family members. Rong wonders how these people find out. Obviously, they are used to doing this kind of thing. After saying a few words, they leave and say that they will come to collect the money tomorrow. Yen Feng immediately calls the police. However, there is no camera at the scene of the accident. For one thing, they don't know who is responsible for the accident. For another thing, these people didn't do anything. They can't just say that Rong was threatened by a piece of paper. On the way back from the police station, Rong is a little upset. Yen Feng was very loyal. He patted him on the shoulder and went to take out his private stash of 30,000 yuan. Rong knows that Yen Feng's family is not very rich. Obviously, the 30,000 yuan is Yen Feng's private money. None of Rong's roommates are rich. If they really need money to solve the problem, they will help. Including Rong's tutoring salary, the total amount is less than 45,000 yuan, which is only a small part of the total 140,000 yuan. In the evening, Yen Feng's roommates look at each other with tears in their eyes. Yen Feng says that he wants to ask his family for the money, but Rong stops him. I can't pay the money back. These people just want to blackmail me. I don't care if I have to pay the debt, but I can't drag you guys down with me. I can't take the money. Rong returns Yen Feng's and other people's money to Rong and goes to sleep. His roommates are worried about him, but Rong is determined. He wants money more than his life. Yen Feng sighs. These people must be hired by the rich second generation. If someone with a powerful background can help them, they won't dare to be so arrogant. Another roommate frowns. We can just fight with them. Go to sleep. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Yen Feng muttered, we can't beat one person even if we fight together. He was not trying to belittle them. Everyone in the dormitory was serious in their studies. But when it comes to fighting and killing, they were all skinny and weak. They were useless. Only Rong, who is pretending to be asleep, hears Yen Feng say that someone with a powerful background. He thinks that the only people he knows who have powerful backgrounds are the brother and sister he met on the train. They seem to be from powerful backgrounds and they are also locals of the R city. Rong thinks of the phone number that he accidentally remembers and feels that he is being too naive. He was just being polite. He was overestimating himself. Treating the siblings to instant noodles was a small matter. How could it be equal to 140,000 yuan? He is just a little poor, but he is not shameless. Thinking about it, Rong tosses and turns in bed. He doesn't fall asleep until midnight. The next day, Yan Feng and his roommates decide that they must stay close to Rong today. They go to class together, eat together, and go back to the dormitory together. However, after a long time, nothing happens. After all, they are students who have never been out of the society. They don't know how scoundrels behave. Seeing that nothing happens in the evening, they let down their guard. Rong is going to the library. Yan Feng, who is seriously sleep-deprived, follows him with a yawn. At this time, there are few people on the campus. When a van stops in front of them, there are no other students around. "Boy, have you prepared the money?" The tattooed man is very straightforward. After Rong says that he doesn't have the money, he says, "Please." He also talks about how cute his younger sister, who is in junior high school, is in his hometown, so he invites Rong into the van. Yan Feng shouts at Rong. Before closing the door, the tattooed man says arrogantly, "Hey, we are inviting Rong to have some fun. Mind your own business." Mind your own business. Yan Feng pulls a tree branch and is about to smash the window. However, when he turns around, he sees that the back of the van is already far away, with black smoke rising from it. In a hurry, he only has time to write down the license plate number. The van passes by a white BMW and disappears around the corner. Screech! The BMW stops in front of Yan Feng, and Lin Luoran's face appears. "It's you!" Yan Feng is still holding the stick in his hand. He doesn't know what to do. He has a deep impression of Lin Luoran, so he recognizes her at first sight. Lin Luoran certainly remembers this boy who she once asked for directions. On the way, she realizes that she doesn't know Rong's contact information or which dorm he lives in. Lin Luoran is thinking whether she should ask Professor Chi for help. However, as soon as she enters the campus, she sees the boy who walked with Rong last time. Lin Luoran feels that it is a coincidence. "Excuse me, which dorm does Rong live in? Do you have his contact information? Is he looking for Rong?" Yan Feng is stunned. Then he realizes, he was taken away. "I'm worried that he might be in danger. Let's call the police first." Yan Feng continues. Lin Luoran frowns. "When did this happen?" "Just now. It was the van that collided with yours." Lin Luoran steps on the accelerator and the van turns around. Yan Feng jumps in front of the van and says, I remember the license plate number. Let me go with you." "Get in." Seeing that the campus bell seems to be cold, Yan Feng opens the back door and slips in. He is still holding the stick in his hand, which is quite funny. Lin Luoran asks for the license plate number and releases all her spiritual mind. Her spiritual mind stretches for miles, searching for the car in the endless stream. "It's not this one. No, it's not. It's this one." The appearance and the license plate are the same. Lin Luoran opens her eyes again. She is confident and starts the car to chase after the van. Yan Feng is a little nervous. A BMW driver must be rich. He doesn't know if the campus belle is close to Rong and how much she will do to save him. "Anyway, Rong, you are such a scumbag. How dare you lie to me and say that you don't know her? Damn it. Why would she save you when you don't know her?" Lin Luoran has no idea what Yan Feng is thinking. While driving, she asks about the whole story. Soon she gets the general idea. So, Rong actually called her for help when he had the chance? However, Rong didn't call her in the past 3 or 4 days. Lin Luoran thinks more highly of him. Whether it is out of self-esteem or other reasons, Lin Luoran believes that Rong is a good student. He is a good friend of Luodong. What worries Lin is whether she can go home in time for dinner. Rong's sudden appearance at the dinner table will be a pleasant surprise for her. Chapter 207. Why does Chao Liang care about a poor student? At the moment, Chao Liang is sitting in a private room of a famous slow shake bar in our city. He is different from the gentleness he shows in front of Zheng Tian. His face is full of arrogance and pride. He is also 25 years old. Among his peers, most of them have just graduated from the ivory tower 1 or 2 years ago. Maybe they are still looking for jobs that suit them, or maybe they have just settled down and are thinking about saving money to buy a house and get married. What about Chao Liang? He is only 25 years old, but he already has a decent position in Zheng's company. His job is easy, but he has real power. At the age of 25, he owns 2 houses in our city, a Maserati and a Mercedes-Benz. He also owns some shares in this slow shake bar. Even if he doesn't do anything for the rest of his life, he can live a rich life in the eyes of ordinary people. Although his father is only the general manager of Zheng's branch in our city, he also owns some shares of Zheng's company. Because of the high price of real estate, Chao Liang gets a big bonus every year. As the son of a senior manager, Chao Liang can live a comfortable life. Of course, compared with Zheng Tian, Chao Liang is nothing. Chao Liang is rich in the eyes of ordinary people. One is the son of the boss and the other is the son of a senior member of the company. They are childhood friends. Chao Liang has been in the society for some time and he is a small leader in the company. Compared with Zheng Tian, who has been in college for 6 years, Chao Liang is undoubtedly more outstanding in the eyes of outsiders. If their identities can be swapped, Chao Liang would agree with this statement. To put it simply, what makes Chao Liang unhappy is that Zheng Tian's arrival makes him feel pressured. He feels that he has lost his shine because of the competition. He would rather be the head of a chicken than the tail of a phoenix. Chao Liang used to have his own social circle, and he was doing quite well in it. He had many friends and was very popular. However, when Zheng Tian comes to our city, Chao Liang becomes Zheng's follower. He hates Zheng Tian for taking away his glory, but he also looks forward to following Zheng Tian to a higher social circle. This contradictory mentality makes him lose his temper at the slightest thing, just like those days in the month. Chao Liang has never been low-key, but now he is even more sinister. Obviously, this is the reason why Rong is so unlucky. Chao Liang is the son of the boss and the son of a senior official. It is reasonable for Chao to be Zheng Tian's follower. However, what makes Chao feel so unfair is that 20 years ago, he and Zheng Tian used to play with mud in the same yard. At that time, Zheng Tian's father was Lao Chao's subordinate. If Zheng Tian's father didn't go into business first, Chao Liang thinks that he and Zheng Tian should be in the same position now. Of course, Chao doesn't think he is being extreme. He is still his childhood friend. In front of Zheng, he is his childhood friend. In Chao's eyes, Rong is the law. In Chao, the strong Liang thinks. Law is Chao is Chao. Chao is Zheng is Yang. But Chao is and Chao. And he is. It's just dark, and the bar is not open yet. When Rong is pushed into the bar, several young women in revealing clothes and smoky makeup look at him in surprise. When they see the brothers, who usually work in the bar, they suddenly realize what is going on. Maybe someone pissed off Mr. Chao again? In order to keep their jobs, they just keep quiet and do what they are doing, pretending that they didn't see anything. Soon after they escort Rong into the private room, a man and a woman walk in. The man is holding a wooden stick, which looks ridiculous. The woman is stunning under the flickering light. This combination was a little strange, but there was no reason not to do business. Someone still politely received the two of them. They didn't even suspect that the young boy was here to cause trouble. The attack power of the wooden stick in his hand was really trash with a combat power of only 5. The young woman asks for a private room. Although the private room is right next to Chao's, these people don't think too much about it. Both the man and the woman look thin and gentle, which makes people relax easily. Beauty, this is the wine list. When the bartender is thinking about how to promote the wine, the young woman points at the wine list. They are all expensive. Wow, this is a big commission. The bartender is happy and becomes more enthusiastic. How many people are there? 2. Yen Feng put up 2 fingers. The 2 bottles of wine that cost 4 digits made him dizzy. He had been to this bar with his friends before, but at most, he only sat in the booth. He had never been to a private room. Wine that cost 4 digits, cough cough. Although his family had a small business, if he dared to drink like this, He would most likely be beaten to death by his father. Soon the wine is served. The amber wine is sparkling in the glass. Yen Feng notices that the campus bell is listening to the people next door. He sticks to the wall and listens. The sound insulation is so good that Yen Feng doesn't know how the campus bell can listen to the sound. Yen Feng thinks that there may be a fierce fight later. Since he has ordered the wine, he might as well drink it to boost his courage. He doesn't care if the wine needs to be diluted or not. He holds the bottle and starts to drink. When Lin smells the aroma of the wine, she finds that her roommate, Rong, burps with an empty bottle and giggles. "Ha, campus bell, hi, we meet again." Seeing that Rong is pushed into the room and almost falls, Chao Liang raises his glass of wine and gives Rong a fake salute. He smiles. The bald man with a scorpion tattoo on his arm laughs. "Mr. Chao, here you are. Shall we go out or?" There are two kinds of repairmen. One is done by the employer, and the other is done by them. The tattooed man is very competent. Chao Liang pats his female companion and says, "Go and have a drink with Brother Bao." Chao Liang is surprised when he sees Rong, not to mention how his female companion drinks with Brother Bao. Rong is indeed a student from an ivory tower. He seems to have a backbone, different from those white-collar workers who are easily frightened. "Rong, you must have seen the bill. 140,000 yuan. How are you going to pay it back?" Rong shows a rare sarcastic smile. Even if he has the money, he won't pay 140,000 yuan. Rong doesn't have the money. Even if he has the money, he won't pay 140,000 yuan. "I don't have money and I don't owe you money." Rong forces himself to look at Chao Liang in the eyes. He knows that he may not win by being tough, but he will definitely lose if he is weak. In this world, these people will just beat him up. He will never agree to pay 140,000 yuan to Rong. Chao Liang bursts into laughter. Suddenly he pours the wine on Rong's face. "You're shameless. Brother Bao, do it." It was one of Brother Bao's men who hit Rong. Rong doesn't know how he offended the rich man in front of him. Rong is about to be blackmailed by him. Rong is punched in the face twice. Chao Liang has a twisted sense of pleasure when he bullies ordinary people. When he sees Rong's neck is stepped on and he is lying on the ground, Chao Liang's pleasure reaches the climax. "To be honest, I don't need your 140,000 yuan. If you're willing to kowtow 3 times in front of everyone, I'll write off the money. I heard that your sister just started middle school today. Do you understand what I mean?" Rong struggles but can't move. He clenches the red carpet in the room. As he expected, these people are just bored and they are here to make fun of him. Just because of this ridiculous reason, they want to threaten him and investigate his family. Cow 3 times. This is a matter of dignity. On one hand, it's his dignity. On the other hand, it's a potential threat to his family. Rong feels that time is passing slowly. He has a bitter taste in his mouth. After being punched twice, his teeth seem to be loose. Laughter comes from above Rong's head. Rong feels dizzy. The dim light in the room makes him feel that ghosts are everywhere. What is dirtier than ghosts is the human heart. Rong feels dizzy. Yen Feng should have called the police. Unfortunately, as in the TV series, they will probably show up at the end. Chao Liang's laughter is like a slow-motion scene in a movie. When the door of the room is kicked open, Chao Liang doesn't even have time to stop laughing. A female voice says coldly, "You kowtow 3 times and we'll call it a day." Rong feels that the voice is familiar. He raises his head and finds that it is Laodong's sister, whom he met on the train. He remembers the beautiful handwriting on the note. It is signed Lin Luoran. Why is she here? Yes, hurry up and kowtow 3 times, ah? Yen Feng held the wooden stick in his hand. His eyes were bloodshot, and he staggered as he stood at the door. Obviously, he was drunk, and he was like a fox pretending to be a tiger. Chao Liang smiles instead of getting angry. He says, "Student Rong, is it your little lover who is here to save you?" "Brother Bao, it's not good for someone to break into your place, is it?" Chao Liang says with a smile, "Mr. Rong, is it your little lover who is here to save you?" "Brother Bao, it's not good for someone to break into your place." Chao Liang also has a strange feeling. Why didn't the bartender and the security guard come to stop them when they kicked the door open? What on earth happened? Brother Bao laughs. He steps forward and reaches out his hand to hold Lin Luoran's hand. Little beauty, are you here for me? Lin Luoran dodges his hand and looks at him coldly. You have a foul mouth. Kowtow 3 times and we'll call it a day. Chao Liang is amused. Let's see who is going to kowtow. Brother Bao, this little beauty is very arrogant. I'm afraid we have to play with her. Brother Leopard feels that he has lost face. Hearing this, he and his men laugh wretchedly. Several strong men surround Yan Feng. Lin Luoran pulls Yan Feng in and closes the door cooperatively. Are you all right? Lin Luoran looks at Rong. It seems that Rong has been hit several times. It's all his fault. He is not a good drinker and he drinks too much. If he didn't act like a drunkard in the hall, Rong wouldn't have been beaten. Let's go. Let's get out of here, Rong says with difficulty. No matter how capable Luodong is, Rong is alone now. Rong knows what is going to happen. Chao Liang flicks his fingers and sits down on the sofa. It's too late to leave now, but Lin Luoran is indeed beautiful. She is much better than the vulgar men around him. As soon as some malicious thoughts flashed through his mind, Lin Luoran suddenly laughed in the dim light. Chapter 208. In about 10 minutes, everything was settled. Chao Liang, who is trying his best to stay calm, refuses to kowtow. However, he is not a tough guy either. Seeing that Lin Luoran has taken care of Brother Leopard, he knows that he has met a master. Of course, Chao Liang doesn't know what a cultivator is. He thinks that Brother Leopard and his men are so weak that they have met a tough opponent. Rong is sitting on the sofa. He feels like he is in a dream. Maybe the ups and downs of life are too fast? Yan Feng is sleeping on the sofa with a stick in his arms. He has no idea what just happened. Lin Luoran leans on the sofa and asks casually, "Are you saying that you are from the Zheng's family?" The Zheng's family is a real estate tycoon. Before Lin Luoran became a cultivator, she had heard about how rich the Zheng's family is. The problem is that Lin Luoran, who couldn't even afford a square meter 4 years ago, is going to meet the heir of the Zheng's family? Things in the world were really too unpredictable. This Chao fellow's eyes were flickering. Did he really think that he was a fool? Lin Luoran looks at her watch. It's 7:30. Dinner should be ready at home. Lin Luoran can't make it for dinner anyway. She might as well help Rong deal with everything today. Fine. Call the client. Chao Liang thinks that Lin Luoran is afraid of the Zheng's family. Although he is jealous of Zheng Tian's name, he is also relieved. He heard that Zheng Tian has been practicing martial arts for more than 10 years. Even if they can't come to an agreement, they can solve the problem by force. Though Chao feels ashamed to ask Zheng Tian for help, he is sure that Zheng Tian will help him in front of outsiders. Chao Liang calls Zheng Tian while Lin Luoran is smiling. The busy tone rings. Chao looks at the gangsters lying on the floor and Brother Leopard, who is trembling in the corner. Chao feels that every busy tone is hitting his heart. Pick up the phone, I don't want to kowtow, hello? Lin Luoran hears Zheng Tian's voice on the phone. Because the communication device is a bit distorted, Lin Luoran doesn't recognize that it is Zheng Tian. However, Chao Liang has asked Zheng Tian for help. Of course, Chao Liang is very polite. He doesn't want to embarrass himself. Chao Liang looks at the evil woman on the sofa. She is resting with her eyes closed, as if she is asleep. Chao Liang's face is full of hatred. Zheng Tian has just woken up from meditation when he receives the call from his childhood friend. Sure enough, his trip to Chengdu was not very peaceful. During the day, someone told him that a Han Dynasty tomb had been discovered in a suburban villa developed by the Zheng Corporation. There were experts rushing to the construction site, and the site had been sealed off. This was a good thing for the archaeologists, but for the Zheng Corporation, if the Han Dynasty tomb had to be excavated, it would affect the construction period. Zheng Tian is still worried about this problem. Chao Liang, his childhood friend, calls for help. When it rains, it pours. All the troubles are piled up together. Zheng Tian has to go. Chao Liang is right about one thing. Even after so many years, Zheng Tian still cares about Chao Ling. Soon he arrives at the bar. The door is closed and there is a sign saying closed. Zheng Tian feels that things may be more troublesome than he thought. He gets out of the car and tries to push the glass door open. Soft music is playing and lights are flashing. Waiters, bartenders, security guards, and performers are all sleeping on the round sofa in the hall like a row of fish. There are no wounds and it doesn't seem to be drugged. The culprit must have some tricks up his sleeve. Zheng Tian feels that he is too arrogant to come alone. When he opens the door of the private room, he is nervous. Because of the dim light, the first thing he sees is people lying on the floor and his childhood friend who is restless. There are also 3 people on the sofa, but he can't see them clearly. Are these 3 people the culprits of Chao Liang's bar? Zheng, you are here. Chao Liang's eyes light up. Compared with Chao Liang, who has no trump cards but is extremely arrogant, Zheng Tian's IQ has been transferred to his EQ. As soon as he enters the room, he notices that something is wrong and he is more tactful in his speech. Who are you? Liang offended you. I apologize on his behalf. It's boring to fight and kill. There are always other solutions. As soon as he enters the door, Lin Luoran, who is sitting against the light, recognizes Zheng Tian at a glance. Lin Luoran used to sell elixirs, so she remembers the buyer. Zheng Tian is only at the level of the innate. Mr. Lin brought him here and tasted the newly brewed spirit wine of Lin's family as a guinea pig. The world is indeed a small place. Zheng Tian, why are you bullying a college student instead of cultivating in the mountains? As soon as Zheng Tian hears the voice of the person in the shadow, he feels as if a flash of lightning flashes across his eyes. The voice is so familiar. When Lin Luoran shows her face, he feels that the flash of lightning turns into thunder. God, he can't wait for a bolt of lightning to fall from the sky and strike him to death on the spot. Master Lin, the more anxious Zheng Tian is, the more he tries to stop himself from bowing. However, Lin Luoran waves her hand and stops him. Zheng Tian's master? How can he be Zheng Tian's master at such a young age? What era is it? Why does Zheng Tian have to follow the example of a master, a disciple, and a school? Chao Liang couldn't figure out what was going on. He had a hunch that he couldn't save his face in a short time. I didn't know Master Lin was here. But Zheng Tian is so anxious that his forehead is covered with sweat. He came to our city this time because he felt that his childhood friend was a little arrogant. However, he can't figure out how he offended Master Lin. What? If I wasn't here, wouldn't it be easier for you to bully an ordinary person, young Master Zheng? Lin Luoran points at Rong Donglin who is sitting on the sofa nervously. Rong is worried about Lin Luoran when he hears about the Zheng's company. Hearing that Master Zheng seems to be Lin Luoran's junior, Rong feels relieved. Bully an ordinary person? Hearing this, Zheng Tian wants to kill himself with a piece of tofu. He knows that there are 2 seniors in the level of laying foundation in the R city. Even if he wants to show off, he won't bully people here. Isn't he cautious enough? Zheng Tian, who doesn't understand the situation, wants to cry but has no tears. He can't ask Master Lin, so he can only ask Chao Liang. Chao Liang wants to whitewash his story in front of his childhood friend. However, Lin Luoran is looking at him with a faint smile. Chao Liang's cold eyes make him sweat and lose the courage to lie. The more Zheng Tian listens, the paler his face becomes. Chao Liang has changed. That day, he promised Lin Luoran that he wouldn't cause any trouble. It turns out that he is still playing dirty tricks, bullying others. Zheng Tian feels that he has been deceived and fooled. More importantly, he is worried about Chao Liang. It's not a big deal that Chao Liang bullies others, but the one he bullies is a college student who deserves Master Lin's help. Zheng Tian doesn't know whether to say that Chao Liang is unlucky or that he is the unluckiest. Zheng secretly glances at the student. His face is purple. Obviously, Chao Liang has beaten him up. At this critical moment, Zheng Tian is very decisive. Yen, kneel down. Kowtow to Master Lin and apologize. Lin Luoran knows that this has nothing to do with Zheng Tian. Maybe the Zheng's company won't bother Rong anymore. Lin Luoran stands up, points at Rong and says, "He is here. It has nothing to do with me. Do you want to kowtow or do something else? It's none of my business." Hey Rong, I'll wait for you outside. Come out when you're done. Rong has a chance to regain his dignity. Should he be afraid of revenge, be cowardly, or fight for what he deserves? Lin Luoran is not God. She can only help Rong once, but it's up to Rong to decide what kind of person he should be. Lin Luoran walks past Zheng Tian. Zheng Tian holds his breath. In fact, for Rong, it means that he has abandoned the cowardice in him. For Chao, it is a humiliation. Zheng Tian actually wants him to kneel down and apologize. Not to that powerful young woman, but to the poor student who was under his feet half an hour ago. Chao Liang clenches his fists tightly. Suddenly he feels a pain in his back leg and can't stand steadily. Before he realizes it, he has already knelt down. Zheng Tian kicks him. Chao Liang can't believe it. He looks up and sees Zheng staring at him seriously. Zheng says word by word, "Kneel down and apologize." Lin Luoran waits in the car for less than 10 minutes. Rong comes out of the bar with Yen Feng on his shoulder. His face is bruised, but he walks steadily. Lin Luoran can guess what happened to Rong. In fact, she likes people around her to be kind and harmless. However, the world is so strange that innocent people are always bullied. Lin Luoran doesn't support bad people, but she hopes that good people can be tough instead of always being weak. Take this incident as an example. Chao Liang drove too fast on campus, and many people saw it. Rong was on the right side. If Rong had pointed out that Chao Liang was in the wrong at the beginning, Chao Liang wouldn't have thought that Rong was a pushover, and Rong wouldn't have pushed his luck. What happened tonight didn't happen. Let's go. I'll drive you home. Lin Luoran looks at the time. Even the dining table has been cleaned up. Besides, there is a drunkard in the house. Lin Luoran doesn't want to take Rong home tonight. Thank you. After getting in the BMW, Rong remains silent for a while. What he did for Lin Luoran was nothing but 2 bowls of instant noodles. However, the note that Lin Luoran gave him and promised to help him when he was in trouble is so meaningful. This is not a meal. Rong doesn't know how to repay Lin Luoran's kindness other than saying thank you. Lin smiles but says nothing. She drives to the University of Chuan. Inside the private room, Chao Liang is kneeling on the ground, trembling. A man's knees are gold. This time, he may never be able to raise his head in front of Zheng Tian in the rest of his life. Chao Liang is angry and resentful. Bang! Zheng Tian hits on the wooden table. The corner of the table is broken. Zheng Tian puts his hand on the table and doesn't move. Chao Liang is the supervisor of the decoration of the bar. Seeing that Zheng Tian smashes the wooden table, Chao stares at Chao in astonishment. I'm not showing off my skills. Compared to Junior Master Lin, my skills are like a small stream compared to the ocean. Yang, I asked you to kowtow because I wanted to save you. After saying that, he gently moved his palm away. Chao Liang's pupils shrink. The corner of the solid wood table is covered with sawdust. It seems that Zheng Tian is laughing at Chao Liang's ignorance. Looking at his childhood friend's solemn expression, he suddenly felt that there was a chill in the air-conditioned room. It was so cold that it reached his bones. Chapter 209. The cyan little fox has been occupying the bamboo house on the island in the backyard of Lin's house for a long time. It pesters Lin Luoran for a lot of spirit herb seeds and starts to plant spirit herbs around the bamboo house. Nowadays, the spirit herbs she planted outside have changed their medicinal properties. Lin Luoran has her own space. She can throw some seeds of spirit herbs and let the cyan little fox do whatever it wants. The fox has demarcated the island as a forbidden area. Except for Lin Luoran, if anyone else wants to step into its territory, the fox will show its teeth and make a headache. Lin Luoran always feels that she is raising an ancestor instead of a medicine fox. Of course, cyan little fox and Goldie don't get along well with each other in terms of temperament and species. Goldie likes to stay on the bamboo roof of the island. Both the eagle and the fox are intelligent. They know that they belong to Lin Luoran and they can't kill each other. If they do something wrong, they agree that you want the roof and I want the house. Luodong hears that Rong is studying at the University of Chuan. He pesters Lin to see him on the weekend. It has only been 2 days since the incident in the bar. Lin feels dizzy searching for the soul wood in a pile of documents, so she agrees to meet Luo Dong on the weekend. Before that, Lin remembers the large scorpion shell she got in the desert. She has reached the level of laying foundation and her magic weapon is the sword of bright snow. However, she doesn't have any armor. Is it time for her to study refining weapons? Also, she needs to reforge the snow sword which was stained with devil chi. Looking at the small volcano in her space, Lin feels that she is blessed. With the help of the strange fire, she doesn't need to worry about running out of wacken. It shouldn't be a big problem to refine the scorpion shell. With the guidance of White Fairy, Lin Luoran can refine weapons. Even if she can't make a delicate armor, she doesn't need to be waterproof or dustproof. Lin Luoran will be satisfied as long as she can inlay 2 magic circles on it to protect herself. The gophers have hollowed out the flesh inside the scorpion shell, leaving a complete shell. The scorpion shell is 7 or 8 meters long. If it is made into an armor, everyone in the Lin family will have a circle of armor. However, Lin Luoran thinks that the workload will be too much for her. This is not an online game where Lin Luoran only needs to prepare the materials and click to combine them. How to embed the magic circle is already a headache for Lin Luoran. He spent 2 days in the basement studying the general principles. He had the refining techniques, but if he wanted the formation, he didn't have it at all. Maybe the one who wrote the general outline never thought that there would be an individual cultivator like Lin Luoran who has no master to teach her. There is no such thing as magic circles in the materials of laying foundation given by White Fairy. Wait, if she has to talk about magic circles, she seems to have seen them? After the weather changed, Lin Sanjiu moved a multifunctional cabinet under the apple tree. She put some things that could not be soaked by the rain, such as some papers. After searching for a while, Lin Luoran finally finds the magic circle she has seen before. It is copied from the jade plate in Commander Qin's house. The pencil mark is a little blurred, but the outline is still there. After flipping through it, she remembered that since she could copy this formation from the jade token, there were also various offensive formations inside the sword of bright snow, which she could use to forge weapons in the future. As long as he persevered, he would be able to walk it out bit by bit. Lin Luoran rubs her eyes, puts down the paper, and closes her eyes. She has been studying it for 2 days. The lines of the whole magic circle have formed a direction in her mind. She closes her eyes and recalls it clearly. Lin Luoran moves her fingers slightly. A stream of lines with reiki flows out from her fingertips. She draws an outline in the air. There is a slight hesitation, and the outline of the magic circle disappears. Lin Luoran has to start all over again. She can't remember how many times she has drawn in the air in the basement. She only knows that she has filled up the broken nodes of the jade plate bit by bit. When Lin Luoran walks out of the basement, her eyes are bloodshot. She has stayed in the basement for several days. When she comes out, she feels sad to see Lin Luodong. The weekend Lin Luoran promised has already passed. Lin Luoran is holding a piece of wood in her hand. She has carved a magic circle with reiki on it. The magic circle has some protective effect, but it is far less than what Commander Qin said. Lin Luoran doesn't know whether she made a mistake or the materials she used are not good enough. Even the effect of the magic circle has been weakened. What's more, the reiki of the magic circle on the wood is dissipating. It seems that she can't see the effect if she doesn't practice with real materials. Cultivation is such a waste. Alas. Looking at Luodong who is pouting, Lin Luoran ruffles the boy's hair. Let's go. Let's go and see Rong today, shall we? It is only 5 o'clock, and Luodong has just finished school. College students can go to school on weekdays and weekends. Rong's face is injured. Maybe he hasn't started a part-time job yet. Lin Luoran can go to the University of Chuan now. Lin Luodong smiles happily. The cyan little fox has sharp ears. It runs from the island to Lin Luoran's feet and refuses to leave. Lin Luoran has no choice but to put the fox into the car with her. Lin Luodong sits in the passenger seat. The cyan little fox nestles in Lin Luoran's arms. It doesn't disturb Lin Luoran while she is driving. Instead, it looks out of the window. The neon lights in the city are different from those in the underground world. However, whenever the sun sets and the backyard of Lin's house is lit up, the cyan little fox can't help but think of the underground world. It tells itself that Bai is in seclusion and can't go back yet. On the busy driveway, the street lights are reflected in the cyan little fox's pupils. The light and shadow are mottled, covering the tears in its eyes. No matter how it disguises itself and how domineering it is still the little fox that loves to cry. Lin Luoran sees its sadness in the rearview mirror and her heart softens. Doesn't the cyan little fox know that the white fox is probably dead now? Lin Luoran used to think that it didn't know, but now she is not so sure. To Lin Luoran's surprise, Rong Donglin is not in the dormitory at this time. Yen Feng is reluctant to see Lin Luoran again. He was drunk that night, but he didn't lose his memory. He still remembers a lot about what happened after he was drunk. Of course, compared to losing face in front of the campus bell, Yen Feng couldn't let go of the fact that the slow shake bar had hung a sign to close down after he learned that the matter had been solved that night. Are you saying that Rong went to the excavation site with Professor Qi? Lin Luoran has been cultivating in seclusion these days, so she doesn't know anything about the Han Dynasty tomb. Yen Feng nods, yes. A lot of bamboo slips were excavated from the tomb. Professor Qi is an expert in this field, so he was invited there. It seems that there is also the Shui script. Dong Lin is an expert in this field, so he was invited by the Zheng family to be Professor Qi's assistant. Rong's roommate seems to be a chatterbox. Lin Luoran only focuses on 3 key points: the Han Dynasty tomb, the Shui script, and the Zheng family. The ancient tomb should be real. Lin Luoran doesn't waste her time on the Shui script. She thinks for a while and gets a general introduction of the Shui script. The Shui script, also known as ghost script or reverse script, is shaped like oracle bone inscriptions and bronze inscriptions. It is mainly used to record the cultural information of the Shui nationality, such as astronomy, geography, religion, folklore, ethics, and philosophy. The structure of the Shui script is similar to that of Chinese characters, but it is basically the reverse of Chinese characters. However, the characters of the Shui script can be interpreted. Just like the Chinese characters of the state of Huaxia, the Shui script is the only non-alphabetic script in the world. Let's not talk about whether Rong is really an expert in the Shui script. Hearing that the Zheng family is the discoverer of the ancient tomb, the Zheng family invites Rong, a student of the Zheng family. Aya, senior sister Lin, your dog is so cute. Since Lin Luoran is Professor Qi's apprentice, Yen Feng calls Lin Luoran Sister Lin. Seeing that Lin Luoran is thinking, Yen Feng tries to find something to talk about. He mistakes the cyan little fox for a pet dog, which almost makes the little fox explode. Good boy, don't move. Lin Luoran notices that Luodong is not willing to give up. She smiles and says to Yen Feng, Yen Feng, do you know where the ancient tomb is? If you are free, I would like to ask you to be my guide. Since Lin Luoran has said so, Yen Feng has to say that he is free even if he doesn't have time. He gets in the car slowly. The cyan little fox stares at him angrily, which gives him goosebumps. The ancient tomb is located in the western suburb of our city. With the expansion of universities in recent years, there is no place to build a new campus in the downtown area. Therefore, all the universities have moved to the western suburb. The ancient tomb is located in a county near our city. It is only dozens of minutes away by car. The area is famous for its bean paste, and it is gradually becoming a university town. With the opening of the high-speed railway, it takes less time to get to the downtown area of our city. The Zheng's family has developed this area because they have figured out the psychology of their customers. When Lin Luoran finds Rong in the cordoned area, it is getting dark. The bruises on Rong's face have faded a lot. It is windy in the evening, and Professor Qi's silver hair is fluttering. The old man is willing to work hard for his academic research. Brother Dong Lin, look here. Lin Luodong shouts at the top of his voice, which attracts everyone's attention. Lin Luoran gets out of the car and invites Rong to dinner. She can't leave Professor Qi alone. Professor Qi is reluctant to leave. Rong points to the cold lunchbox on the table and says, "Professor, you didn't eat anything for lunch." Rong sighs. It is a pity that the abalone rice provided by the Zheng's family will be wasted. Every researcher has one for several days. The Zheng's family is so rich. Professor Chi, I can't afford abalone rice. It is just a small restaurant in the university town. Can you come with me? The 3 students are asking him to go. The other scholars laugh and say that Professor Chi is lucky. Professor Chi feels embarrassed and gets in the car. This fox is cyan. It is rare. Professor Chi notices the abnormality of the cyan little fox as soon as he gets in the car. Hearing that the cyan little fox is a fox, Yen Feng blushes. Professor, what's wrong with the cyan fox? Seeing that Professor Chi is interested, Lin Luoran starts the conversation. Cyan is very difficult to dye in ancient times. It has always been a noble color. Cyan is the color of the fox. It is said that the king of the country of green mountains is cyan. However, this is just a legend in the classic of mountains and seas. Chapter 210. Lin Luoran and others find a small restaurant near the college town, which is commonly known as the Fly Restaurant. Apart from the sanitary conditions, this kind of small restaurant near the college is absolutely delicious. Students are picky about food, so the restaurants that can survive are all cheap and delicious. Pork with mashed garlic, fried water spinach, shredded potatoes with salted egg yolk, fish with pickled cabbage, tofu with brain, cold pork head, and cabbage and tofu soup. 6 dishes, 1 soup, and a small bucket of rice are enough for 4 adults and 1 kid. As for the cyan little fox, it only eats things with reiki. As long as it is taken out of Lin's space, it will steal vegetables from the kitchen and hide them in the bamboo house. It will eat slowly in the dead of night. At this time, the cyan little fox doesn't even bother to look at the dishes that are delicious for ordinary people. It puts a few pieces of paper in its mouth on the plastic stool and lies lazily on it, combing its fur. The girls in the restaurant are all talking about how cute it is in a low voice. Professor, you've been here for 5 or 6 days. I met Master's wife yesterday and she was nagging you. Seeing that Professor Chi and Rong are discussing the documents unearthed from the ancient tomb, Yen Feng says with a piece of tofu in his mouth. Professor Chi puts down his chopsticks, shakes his head and smiles. Yen Feng, you are not as focused as Rong when it comes to academics. Yen Feng secretly makes a face at Rong. Maybe Rong is too tired, or maybe he is still in a bad mood. Rong keeps eating and occasionally picks food for Luodong. Professor, I heard that Rong has done a lot of research on the Shui script. They have been eating for 20 minutes. The waiter is clearing the table. Lin asks Luodong to pay the bill. She doesn't want them to wait, so she asks Rong. This was supposed to be a polite remark, but unexpectedly, Professor Chi nodded in agreement. He's more knowledgeable than I am in the Shui script. He's a good candidate for research. Seeing that the other 3 people are looking at him, Rong explains, my father was a scholar in the Shui script. I've learned a little, but I'm still far from being a scholar. Luodong asks what a scholar in the Shui script is. After Rong explains, he tells Professor Chi about the unearthed bamboo sheets from the Han Dynasty. I wonder what the identity of the owner of the tomb is. These bamboo slips are actually woven with golden thread, and they're perfectly preserved. However, the contents are a little absurd. They got into the car. Professor Chi sat in the middle of the back seat and shook his head in disapproval. Absurd? In the long history of Huaxia, there are too many unexplainable existences. How could it be absurd? Maybe Rong is really interested in this field, so he doesn't hesitate to argue with Professor Chi about different opinions. He says, the part recorded in the Shui script has nothing to do with the classic of mountains and seas. It has never been recorded. The ointment that can regrow a person's arm and the spirit wood that can reunite the soul sound similar to the elixirs in the popular online novels. How can they exist in the real world of the Han Dynasty? Professor Chi shakes his head. Apparently, he doesn't agree with Rong. Hearing about online novels, Yen Feng finally gets a chance to join in the conversation. He starts to discuss with Rong whether there are cultivators in the world. They talk about this in front of Lin Luoran. Normally, Lin Luoran doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. However, Lin Luoran doesn't hear what Yen Feng and Rong are talking about. Lin Luoran notices that Rong is talking about spirit wood that can reunite souls. It sounds like soul wood. Is it really God's blessing? Lin Luoran's heart is beating fast. She feels that her lips are dry. Luodong, do you think there are cultivators of swords in the world? Yen Feng looks around and his eyes fall on Luodong, who is the youngest among them. Luodong glances at Lin Luoran. He wants to say loudly that the person driving the car is a cultivator of swords. Of course. Yen Feng says proudly. Rong is angry. Luodong is at the age where he is full of fantasies. If Rong asks Luodong this question, he will definitely side with Yen Feng. Professor Qi laughs and shakes his head. Lin Luoran forces herself to calm down. She asks casually, Brother Rong is talking about the spirit wood that can reunite the soul. It sounds interesting. Professor, is that all the bamboo sheets say? This is a national treasure. We have to be extra careful when we study it. I only see something like spirit wood and a lot of bamboo sheets waiting to be cleaned. I really don't know the details. A national treasure? Lin Luoran is speechless. She seems to be getting bolder and bolder. In the past, Lin Luoran would cower whenever she heard about the national treasure. Now, she is thinking about how to get the bamboo sheets. As long as she can save Baojia, she is willing to rob a museum, let alone a bamboo sheet that is still in the Tsing's territory. Lin Luoran sends Professor Qi and the others back to the excavation site with a smile. She also drives Yen Feng to the gate of the Chuan University. Then she drives Luodong home. Lin Luoran doesn't show her thoughts on the way home. However, as a sensitive boy, Luodong always feels that his sister's smile is sneaky. He shudders. Oh, it seems that last time, when his family sold boluses, his sister also smiled like this. She got a mountain of jade from the elixirs. The cyan little fox yawns lazily. It is a little sleepy in Lin Luoran's arms. Spirit wood that can reunite the soul? The fox feels that it has heard of this before when it was young. Why can't it remember? Forget it. Lin Luoran didn't ask it. It doesn't need to think about it. The cyan little fox lies down at Lin Luoran's feet and falls asleep. Lin Luoran finds Zheng Tian the next day. Zheng Tian is the director of planning of the R-City branch of Zheng's company. Lin Luoran looks up his phone number and calls him directly. As soon as Zheng hears Master Lin's call, he is nervous and expectant. He runs over happily. Lin invites him to have a cup of tea under the camphor tree, and then they finish what they are going to do. Mr. Lin comes back from the villa in Qingqing. He sees Zheng Tian going out and asks him to stay for a drink. Zheng guesses that the jar of spirit wine in Mr. Lin's hand is the spirit wine that he was lucky enough to drink last time. Zheng makes up his mind to refuse. Although Master Lin's request is whimsical for ordinary people, Zheng Tian smiles with relief after he leaves Lin's house. He is not afraid of any weird request at all. What he fears is that his relationship with Master Lin will be damaged. Since Master Lin has asked him, he is confident that he can take this opportunity to solve the problem caused by Chao Liang last time. Haha, isn't it a blessing in disguise for him? Martial Uncle Lin's residence was visited by a few other cultivators. Zheng Tian gets busy as soon as he gets home. After sending him away, Lin Luoran announces that she is going to do closed-door training at home and goes to the basement, as if she has forgotten about the bamboo sheets in the Han tomb. She doesn't know how long she will be gone if she finds the soul wood. For the safety of her family, she has to speed up the process of making the armor. Chapter 211. Autumn passes and winter comes. While the golden crab paste is still fragrant, the leaves of ginkgo trees turn yellow. After the cold wind blows, the ground is covered with yellow leaves. Winter has come quietly. The cyan little fox starts to pull up weeds to make a nest. However, the weeds in the backyard of the Lin's house are limited, so it mostly picks up bamboo leaves that fall from the island. When winter comes, many animals in the mountains hide. It is not easy for Goldie to hunt. Mr. Lin is thinking whether he should sell beef to feed Goldie every day. Until one day Mr. Lin sees Goldie's claws covered with mud and it catches a lazy, struggling snake. Mr. Lin realizes that Goldie even dug out the snake's hole. Snap! The snake is thrown in front of Mr. Lin. Mrs. Lin screams in fear. Mr. Lin hurriedly casts a binding spell. Because he is not skilled at it, he almost uses up all the wood reiki in his body. Finally, he can tie up the snake, which weighs more than 10 kilograms. Mrs. Lin's face is covered with cold sweat. The golden hawk throws a snake down without any warning. It can really scare people to death. Goldie's temper is getting weirder and weirder. Looking at the silent golden hawk, Mr. Lin suddenly realizes, don't blame it wrongly. It found this snake for us when it was full. You are taking advantage of your daughter. The vines of iron thorns wrap the snake tightly. Mr. Lin steps forward and shakes the snake, laughing. It is winter. It is the time for snake soup. We can't finish this snake. Why don't we ask Chui and the others to eat it? Everyone in the countryside has caught a few snakes to make soup. Mrs. Lin is just scared by its size. She has no problem eating it. Hearing that they are going to eat snakes, Fatty Chui runs over happily. Seeing the snake hanging under the tree, he is amazed. How to make this snake? Mrs. Lin asks. Fatty Chui shakes his head and bluntly says that it is a waste of materials. Finally, under Fatty Chui's suggestion, the snake is divided into several parts. Some parts are made into snake soup, some snake soup with pickled cabbage, and the tender part of the abdomen is made into fried snake slices. Lucy is already 3 years old. Wang Miao, he has to move back to the city for the sake of Lucy's kindergarten. Lucy hasn't seen Luodong for a long time. Today, she finally comes to the Lin's house with her parents. Lucy turns the front yard upside down and then drags Wang Miao to the backyard. Wang Miao has seen the golden hawk in the backyard twice. Even though Wang Miao is not afraid of anything, Goldie can still stare at her. Lucy is obviously much stronger than ordinary 3-year-old girls. She sneaks in and out of the flower bushes and vegetable fields. Wang Miao, can't catch her for a while. Lucy sneaks to the small Huan Island. Chui Wanlu, stop. Wang Miao, shouts with her hands on her waist. She has no way to deal with her energetic daughter. Xiao Tuanzi giggled and ran even faster with her little feet. In just a few steps, she had crossed the pontoon bridge and arrived at the small ring island. That's right, Chui Wanlu is Lucy's real name. Such a gentle and beautiful name comes from her tacky, fat father. Fatty Chui is a slave to his daughter and he doesn't see Lucy's naughtiness at all. He says that Lucy is as clear as dew, but in fact, Lucy has a tendency to develop like a ghost. The cyan little fox grins at this little girl who suddenly intrudes into its territory. Lucy is not afraid at all. She just thinks that the little fox is teasing her. Lucy claps her hands and stomps her feet, making the arrogant little fox mad. The little fox is about to stretch out its claws to scratch her, but suddenly the back of its neck is tightened. Aunt Lin! Lucy shouts loudly and rushes over to pinch the cyan little fox's nose. The cyan little fox struggles with all its strength, feeling that this posture hurts its face. However, the big hand on its back is so tight that it can't get rid of it. Seeing Lin Luoran suddenly appearing in the bamboo forest, Wang Miao stops worrying that her daughter might fall into the water. It is winter now. Even though they have drunk a lot of spirit wine and are wearing thick clothes, Lin Luoran is still wearing a simple long shirt and trousers. Wang Miao looks at Lin Luoran talking to Lucy under the bamboo forest and feels that Lin Luoran seems to have lost some weight. You have been in closed-door cultivation every time I came here. Why are you here today? Lin Luoran smiles and warns the cyan little fox. Then she puts it down. I smell the snake soup. I can't let you all eat it. Lin Luoran and Wang Miao stand side by side in the bamboo forest. Seeing the cyan little fox running into the bamboo house, Lin Luoran and Wang Miao both remember that when they bought this house 4 years ago, Master Jia entertained them in the bamboo house and even cooked for them. Lin Luoran can still recall the taste of the fragrant balls and clouds they had at that time. However, the 4 people who had this dish together are quite different. At that time, Lin Luoran was just a green hand in cultivation. She knew nothing about spells, magic weapons, or sword spells. She couldn't even use the Reiki in her body. 4 years have passed, and she is lucky enough to lay foundation. 4 years ago, Wang Miao Yi was a straightforward businesswoman. She was over 40 years old, but she and Fatty Chui didn't have a child. Now she is slim and pretty, and everyone loves her. In the blink of an eye, she is in kindergarten. 4 years ago, Bao Jia was engaged in her favorite jewelry design job. She had a grandfather who was the commander of a military division and a rich fiancé. She was a girl that people were jealous of. 4 years later, Bao Jia is on the path of cultivation. Her hobby of jewelry design is suppressed. Commander Qin is forced to retire due to illness. Lu Zheng is far away from home. Bao Jia may be lying somewhere, waiting for God's mercy. Lin Luoran and the crazy Taoist are lucky enough to find the soul wood and wake her up. Lin Luoran doesn't know if she can find the soul wood. Lin Luoran finds that although her personal ability is getting higher and higher, there are still things that she can't control. Perhaps people would spend their entire lives in this kind of vicissitude and need? Sister Wang, do you know the whereabouts of Master Jia? For years have passed. The old traces of the Jia's house are gradually erased. Every detail shows that the house has changed owners and it has become Lin's house. However, Master Jia, who went to visit his friend 4 years ago, is nowhere to be found. Lin Luoran is worried. Wang Miao Yi shakes her head. She notices that Lin Luoran is not in a good mood, so she doesn't mention that Master Jia's family has been looking for him for 4 years without any news. As long as Master Jia is not found, it may be good news. Let's not talk about these unhappy things. Let's go and have some snake meat. Seeing that Wang Miao is not happy, Lin Luoran changes the topic and takes Lucy to the dining room. The cyan little fox, who is very picky about its food, has already smelled the fragrance. It follows them to the kitchen. Before dinner is served, it wants to grab the snake meat in the pot. However, it screams when its paw is scalded. Mrs. Lin is soft-hearted. She finds a deep plate for it and fills it with soup and meat. The cyan little fox is insatiable. It holds the plate, squats on the stool and goes to the dining table. When the meal is about to be served, Luo Dong comes back from school, followed by Wei Shui. The two of them are very close and they often eat with each other. Lin's family is happy that Luo Dong has a good friend, so Wei Shui's family will not stop her from being close to Luo Dong. Luo Dong's grades are obvious to everyone. All parents hope that their children can be friends with a good student. Lucy feels that her uncle Luo Dong has been taken away. Lucy can't help but stare at Wei Shui. Wei Shui is used to being a class leader. She is not afraid of Lucy, who is only 3 years old. At the dinner table, they stare at each other and it becomes a side dish. Everyone is very happy to see this. This warm and lively snake feast is just a holiday for Lin Luoran. When she steps into the basement again, she becomes serious. The basement is full of lines. Lin Luoran calculates again and again. The whole room is covered with lines. There is almost no place to stand. Fortunately, the result is gratifying. Lin Luoran looks at the translucent jade in her palm. This is the most successful protective jade pendant she has ever made. It took her 3 months to figure out the structure of the protective circle and reduce the complicated lines to a palm-sized jade pendant. Zheng Tian has already sent the bamboo sheets to Lin's house. In order to concentrate on the magic circle, Lin Luoran restrains herself from reading it. To do a good job, one must first sharpen his tools. It is important to find the soul wood, but the safety of her family is equally important. Lin Luoran doesn't want to experience the same thing again. In the same way, Lin Luoran thinks it is necessary to spend 3 months studying magic circles to make the armor. She gathers a stream of Reiki in her hand and attacks the jade plate on the ground. When the Reiki is 1 foot away from the jade plate, the light on the jade plate soars, and then the Reiki disappears. It seems that nothing has happened. Lin Luoran continues to experiment several times. The jade plate on the ground finally breaks and turns into powder. It is more rotten than the jade plate of Qin's family. It seems that she underestimated the material of the jade plate and the cultivation of the crazy Taoist at that time. Jade pendants forged from the same material, even if they were to be enchanted, would have different effects depending on the cultivation level of the person. The jade plate made by Lin Luoran can withstand any attack of the level of training qi. However, it can only withstand the first attack of the Wakan of the level of laying foundation. Lin Luoran is not good at making weapons, but it is also because of the material. Jade can lock Reiki, so it is the first choice for carving magic circles. However, it is still a long way from being a real material for making weapons. Lin Luoran thinks of the big blue stone she once saw on the mountain of her hometown. At that time, she only felt that its material was unusual, and there was a strange black flower parasitic on it. However, Lin Luoran doesn't know how magical the black epiphyllum is until now. At that time, her body was cleansed by the strange fruit in the space. It was the best time for her to cultivate. However, there was no one to guide her and she didn't know how to cultivate. If Hei Tan didn't accidentally open up her ocean of consciousness and put her on the path of cultivation, she would still be an ordinary person after the Reiki in her body dissipated. She could only guard the space and grow vegetables to make a fortune. She would be an ordinary person for the rest of her life. How can the black epiphyllum be an ordinary bluestone? Lin Luoran feels that it is a kind of material for making weapons recorded in the introduction of swords. However, she doesn't know if it is suitable for making the protective jade plate. Chapter 212. Lin Luoran cuts a 2-meter-long scorpion shell for an experiment. After being forged by the strange fire, the stiff scorpion shell gradually turns into a pool of black liquid in front of Lin Luoran. The liquid floats above the strange fire and changes its shape from time to time. The 2-meter-long raw materials finally turn into a pool of black liquid the size of a big bowl. Obviously, this is the essence of the scorpion shell after it is forged. Lin Luoran's 3 months of preparation is not in vain. She not only deduces and completes the broken magic circle, but also repeatedly studies the weapon forging chapter in the introduction of swords. She has sorted out a set of techniques that she thinks are more suitable for making armor. Lin Luoran leaves a lot of Reiki jades around her and sits cross-legged not far away from the strange fire. While her 10 fingers are dancing, a few milky translucent lights appear on her fingertips. They connect with her fingers and shoot to the liquid scorpion shell. Lin Luoran recalls the shape she originally designed. She controls the light bit by bit and carefully pulls the black liquid apart. This step seems simple, but in fact, this pool of black liquid is the essence of the indestructible scorpion shell. Lin Luoran has to exert a lot of effort to pull it apart. If one wanted to refine according to the desired shape, the divine sense was very important. If one's divine sense was not strong enough, many people who wanted to refine a saber for the first time might end up as a sword. This kind of subtle control was a test of one's mastery of divine sense. The liquid is pulled apart and thinned. Soon, it takes shape above the strange fire. The surface is shining with dazzling light spots. Little by little, Lin Luoran turns it into the ideal shape. There is not too much black liquid. It is dark and shiny. Under Lin Luoran's control, the cuffs and waistline gradually appear. Lin Luoran's face turns pale. After the Reiki jades around her are sucked dry, a black prototype similar to a shoujo manga battle suit appears in front of Lin Luoran. After she withdraws her Reiki, the battle suit falls to the ground and crushes several cabbages. It is dark but shiny, as thin as a cicada's wing but very heavy. Is this the suit made from the scorpion shell? Lin Luoran picks up the suit and blushes. She really lacks experience in this area, and the Lin family lives in the city, so it is impossible to refine armor into robes. Although the battle suits in shoujo manga are vulgar, one thing is undeniable. They cover the shoulders, the chest, the back, and the joints of the feet. They combine the 2 key points of protection and lightness very cleverly. They are very practical. It's convenient for Mrs. Lin to wear it inside. Anyway, it's so tight that no one can tell if she's wearing a skirt or other clothes. Of course, this is just the first step. After Lin Luoran regains her Wakan, she takes out the diamond of fire that she once snatched from the strange flame. Mrs. Lin doesn't have Wacken in her body. Even if the magic circle is set on it, it will probably be broken into pieces like the jade pendant of Commander Qin's grandma. After all, these magic weapons are meant for cultivators. It's much more difficult for ordinary people to protect themselves. If there were no diamond of fire, Lin would probably choose to inlay several pieces of jade. Though it feels like a nouveau riche, at least it is practical. But now, with a fire diamond, as the eye of the formation, it should be enough. Lin Luoran casts a spell and carefully draws a trace of fire from the strange fire. The fire burns on the waistline of her clothes. The small piece softens gradually. Lin Luoran uses Wacken to float the diamond of fire and quickly puts it in the liquid. She withdrew the strange flame. When the clothes cooled down and took shape again, the diamond of fire was already firmly embedded in the waistline of the clothes. The red crystal is particularly dazzling on the black clothes. Lin Luoran forces herself to calm down and puts the clothes into the space. Walking out of the basement, she found that she was hungry. She went to the kitchen to find something to eat. Looking at her watch, she found that it took her 3 days to make the armor. No wonder she was so hungry. After filling her stomach, Lin Luoran goes back to her room and has a good sleep on the warm and soft bed for more than 10 hours. When she opened her eyes again and returned to the space, she was full of energy again. The reason why she is so serious is that the next step of refining weapons is very important: carving a magic circle. The armor Lin Luoran makes is a low-rank magic weapon. At the beginning of refining and purifying materials, even if there is a small mistake, the final quality will be affected because the materials are not pure enough. If there is a careless mistake during shaping, for example, making a red hairpin, the hairpin will be ugly at most. However, if there is a mistake in carving a magic circle, the magic weapon will be destroyed if it is not melted down. The scorpion shell is indestructible. Lin Luoran can't carve a magic circle directly with Wacken. The most effective way is to control the strange fire to carve the magic circle. Lin Luoran must be very careful when drawing a line of the strange fire to carve the magic circle. She casts Fire Drawing Spell with her right hand. A line of the strange fire is drawn out. It is like a thin needle jumping restlessly in Lin Luoran's hand. Lin Luoran calms down and puts the first needle down. It is more like piercing than carving a magic circle. Every needle that Lin Luoran puts down is on a very mysterious point. These careless and seemingly random points gradually formed an outline. This was the crux of the protective spirit design. If Lin Luoran hadn't deduced, carved, and experimented with an incomplete magic circle, she would never have thought that the most important part of a magic circle is its point. It is these points that cause the resonance of the Reiki between heaven and earth, which changes a certain rule in the magic circle and forms a powerful magic circle that focuses on life or death. Every spell has its corresponding handprint. The higher the level of the spell, the more complicated the handprint. Maybe it needs such a frequency to attract the Reiki between heaven and earth, to connect the points of the magic circle with the frequency of the spell. Admittedly, this is a very bold guess. Lin Luoran doesn't know if other cultivators know this. However, no matter how declining the world of cultivation is, if they want to learn magic circles, they should not be like her, who only has an incomplete magic circle to study. Every needle that Lin Luoran puts down is closely around the diamond of fire. This diamond of fire is the core of the magic circle. As long as the diamond of fire is not broken, it can continuously provide Reiki, which makes the armor work when it is in the hands of ordinary people. Concentrating, Lin Luoran puts down a needle. Some points are slightly larger, so she needs to burn them with the strange fire. Some points are very small, so she only needs to stab them quickly. This is a very exhausting work. Lin Luoran is very careful with every needle. When she is tired, she lies down under the apple tree for a while. When she is hungry, she eats some fruits. When she is thirsty, she drinks from the spring. One day, she feels that her mouth is tasteless and she suddenly realizes the passage of time. Finally, the last needle is put down. wherever the spiritual mind goes, the trace of the magic circle is like some kind of complicated pattern, quietly telling the accumulation of history. Lin Luoran looks at the seemingly simple but mysterious clothes and smiles with satisfaction. Her nails have grown a lot longer. Maybe she has stayed in the space for a long time. Fortunately, her control of the strange fire is getting better and better. Looking at the armor in her hand, Lin Luoran knows that the last step is coming. The lines and the nodes are just the foundation of the magic circle. To make a magic circle know how to protect its owner, Reiki alone is not enough. There is the last step called enchantment. This requires the Reiki that only cultivators in the level of laying foundation have. Even Reiki is useless. Therefore, even if ordinary people get a book like The Complete Book of Magic Circles, they can only draw a bunch of useless lines. Reiki lights up the first node, the second one, the third one. Like stars covered by dark clouds, they show their true colors one by one. Lin Luoran increases the output of Reiki. Finally, after what seems to be a long wait, she sees these stars connected by Reiki into a whole. The stars move around the diamond of fire in a special orbit. The whole dress is still dark and plain, but at this moment, it suddenly has a soul. Lin Luoran smiles with satisfaction. Chapter 213. Lin Luoran presents the clothes to her mother like presenting a treasure. Before she can be praised, Mrs. Lin pinches her ear. You didn't even come to see your family during the New Year. You have been in seclusion since you were eating crabs. You didn't come out until the bamboo shoots in the backyard grew old. Luo Dong is the top student in his grade. He has been waiting for you for the whole summer vacation. You live in the same yard and your father and I have to make an appointment to see you, right? Lin Luoran's ears turn red. Mrs. Lin has been pinching her ear since she set the neighbor's chicken free for the first time when she was 5 years old. As she grows up, Mrs. Lin rarely pinches her ear like this. It can be seen that Mrs. Lin is really angry this time. Mom, please be gentle. Lin Luoran hides behind her father as usual, seeking his protection. In the end, Mr. Lin speaks for her and Mrs. Lin turns her eyes to the clothes. The clothes look light, but Mrs. Lin feels that they weigh dozens of kilograms. How can she wear them? Lin Luoran holds her mother's hand and puts it on the diamond of fire. Mrs. Lin feels that her middle finger is pricked. A few drops of blood fall on the diamond of fire and are absorbed quickly. What's going on? Mrs. Lin is afraid of the blood-sucking phenomenon. Mr. Lin is curious. Is this how blood recognizes the owner? Mr. Lin is getting younger and younger. Different from Mrs. Lin, who is trapped in the kitchen every day, he has kept up with the pace of the times. When he surfs the internet, he reads the latest popular cultivation novels. Mr. Lin is no stranger to blood to recognize the owner. Lin Luoran nods and Mrs. Lin is surprised. After the diamond of fire absorbs her blood, Lin feels that there is an inexplicable connection between herself and the heavy black clothes, which is wonderful. When Mrs. Lin takes the clothes from her daughter's hand, the heavy clothes become light and soft. Mrs. Lin goes back to her room doubtfully and puts it on. It's so light. I can't feel that I'm wearing an extra layer. The fabric is so tight. What a strange dress. Lin Luoran closes her eyes to feel the magic circle. Everything is normal. Suddenly, a ball of fire appears in her hand and she throws it at her mother. Mr. Lin instinctively thinks that the person in front of him is his daughter. How could she hurt her own mother? As a result, Mr. Lin stands aside and watches. As for Mrs. Lin, Lin Luoran's attack is so fast that she, as an ordinary person, can't react at all. The fireball explodes 1 foot in front of Mrs. Lin. Mrs. Lin's body emits a faint light that blocks the fireball. This armor is like a protective cover that Lin Luoran uses spells to protect Mrs. Lin from all directions. Mrs. Lin is even more surprised. Lin Luoran has tried everything. Maybe because of the diamond of fire and the living environment of the Scorpion King, this armor has the nature of fire. When it encounters fire spells, it can not only block the attack but also absorb some fire Reiki to defend itself. This is a perfect second-grade armor. Lin Luoran can't believe that this is the first time she has made it. Mr. Lin is also amazed and very happy. The clothes made by his daughter are 100 times safer for his wife who has no ability to protect herself. Dad, when I finish something, I will make another one for you and Luodong. Can you bear with it for a while? Mr. Lin responds to her with a loving smile. Which parent wouldn't be happy for their daughter when their daughter's ability was growing? Mrs. Lin is obviously attracted by the wonderful clothes. Before Mrs. Lin can get even with Lin Luoran sneaks back to the study. The study of Lin's house is in the bamboo house on the island. One room is occupied by Cyan Little Fox and the other room is used by Lin Luoran to collect some ancient books. Spring is coming. There are bamboo shoots sticking out from the cracks in the soil. Lin Luoran decides to dig them out later and add them to her food. Speaking of eating bamboo shoots, the spring bamboo shoots in the mountains of her hometown are as thin as a finger and as tender as magnolia. They are rare delicacies. In the old days, bamboo shoot hunters lived in the mountains in spring. They looked for this kind of wild bamboo shoots all over the mountains and finally sold them to the buyer at the price of 10 cents per shoot. This hard-earned income also contributes a lot to Lin's tuition. Whether it is for eating bamboo shoots or moving back the big blue stone, Lin Luoran has to find time to go back to her hometown and go to the mountains. It is a pity that she doesn't have time recently. Lin Luoran pushes open the door of the study and her eyes fall on the table. There are dozens of bamboo sheets piled up on the table. Lin Luoran picks up one randomly and finds that it is indeed a document written in the Shui script. Xing Tian is very reliable. In order not to miss anything, he brings all the bamboo sheets written in the Shui script here. The disappearance of dozens of unearthed bamboo sheets naturally causes a commotion. After all, so many scholars and experts have seen it with their own eyes. Therefore, Xing Tian has hired a master to forge the bamboo sheets. From the material of the bamboo sheets to the inscriptions in the Shui script and the golden thread connecting the bamboo sheets, Xing Tian has spent a lot of money and used real gold. The bamboo sheets sent to the museum seem to be antiques of the Han Dynasty, but in fact, they have already been sent to Lin's family. Lin Luoran doesn't know how long it will take her to translate so many bamboo sheets by herself. She thinks of Rong Donglin. Rong's father is the Mr. Shui script, who knows the Shui script best. He should be the most suitable person to translate these bamboo sheets. Lin Luoran is a person of action. She drives to the University of Chuan immediately. First, she explains to Professor Qi why she hasn't heard from Rong for the past 6 months. Then she asks Rong Donglin about the Shui script. You want to hire him as your tutor? What a coincidence. We have almost finished sorting out the documents of the Han Dynasty tomb. He is in the 2nd semester of his junior year and he is thinking about where to do his internship. You have solved his big problem. Professor Qi hopes that Rong can continue to be an academic. However, it is not possible to study a subject without eating and drinking. Professor Qi sighs because of Rong's family condition. No matter how much he appreciates Rong, he can't let him starve to death, can he? In many people's eyes, the Chinese language department is a versatile major. The choice of internship is very important. Professor Qi is glad that Lin Luoran can provide Rong with relevant work. Rong follows Lin Luoran home in a daze. Before he comes back to his senses, he is shocked by the bamboo sheets in the study of Lin's house. Rong stutters, These are from the Han Dynasty tomb. God, he has been touching these things for months. He can tell whether they are real or not. These national treasures should be in the museum now, but they are placed casually on a low table. At that moment, many thoughts flashes through Rong's mind, including the suspicion of Lin's identity. Is she a cultural relic dealer? He even thinks about calling the police. All these thoughts disappear in Lin Luoran's calm smile. Rong thinks of all the experiences he has had since he met Lin Luoran and Lin Luoran. If antique dealers are like this, what about him? Rong's forehead is covered with sweat. Lin Luoran quietly waits for him to struggle. After Rong swallows his words, Lin Luoran explains, You are right. These are the real bamboo sheets from the Han Dynasty tomb. However, since I dare to show them to you, I am not an antique dealer. To tell you the truth, I want these bamboo sheets because I need the information in them to save a person. Save a person? Rong is confused. Lin Luoran doesn't explain further. I want you to translate these bamboo sheets. I need the most accurate translation. I will return them to you when you finish. Since Lin Luoran has done him a favor and he has to pay her back, Rong doesn't mind. He agrees to translate the bamboo sheets for Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran asks her mother to arrange a guest room for Rong and closes the door gently. Rong begins to read the files. Lin Luoran sits on Goldie's back and casts a mini-world to cover herself and Goldie. Then they fly over the city. Only Mrs. Lin is wearing armor. Lin Luoran is still worried about her family. She decides to fetch the blue stone in the back mountain of her hometown. For the safety of her family, though it is troublesome, Lin Luoran is willing to do so. As long as her family is still alive, no matter what kind of dangerous environment she encounters outside, Lin Luoran feels that she has a place to shelter from the wind. She feels very warm. Goldie spreads its wings and flies up. When it is in the air, it notices the little figure holding the eagle's claw. Lin Luoran looks down and doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. This little fox. Lin Luoran wants to scare the bold little fox, so she ignores it and lets it fly to the destination with the eagle's claw. Since Ellie took over the Fortune House, the interior decoration of the office building has changed. Instead of the solemn interior color, the building has become more lively and energetic. Of course, like the decoration, many people who are loyal to Ellie have taken the opportunity to be promoted. The management of the Fortune House has been replaced by the old in a short period of time. It is not strange for young people to become middle-level managers such as department managers. The fastest rising person in the Fortune House is a woman named Xian Yuanping. Xian Yuanping is the special assistant of the chairman. When Ellie is away, Xian Yuanping can make half of the decisions. Besides, the two of them are always together. There is a rumor that the new female chairman of the Fortune House is a lesbian. At the moment, the door of the chairman's office is closed. Ellie sits in front of the desk and looks at the woman sitting on the sofa carefully. She has shoulder-length hair and modern clothes. This is a beautiful urban white-collar girl. She lowers her head and plays with a small stamp. She looks satisfied. Ellie asked cautiously, "Have you figured out the secret of engraving?" In the past 2 years, Xian Yuanping has helped Ellie solve a lot of problems for this ancestral stamp of the AI family. In Ellie's opinion, this thing is very ordinary compared with other treasures in the family warehouse. She doesn't know why her grandpa still refuses to give it to Xian Yuanping. Xian Yuanping doesn't answer Ellie. After getting the stamp, she doesn't have to stay with this brainless girl anymore. However, if she wants to open that place, this girl's stamp is still useful. Xian Yuanping smiles coquettishly. Ellie wonders if the air conditioner is too hot. Why does it feel cold? I remember you once said that her ex-boyfriend was Li Anping, right? Xian Yuanping's thoughts change rapidly. Ellie obviously waits for a while before she realizes it. Li Anping. Ellie has a vague impression of this man. He is not only Lin Luoran's ex, but also her ex. Xian Yuanping puts away the stamp and smiles mysteriously. Chapter 214. Sitting on Goldie's back, Lin Luoran arrives at the back mountain of the Li's village in less than 10 minutes. She asks Goldie to hover in the air for a while. She directs Goldie to land on the top of the mountain where she found the black epiphyllum. The cyan little fox is hanging on Goldie's paws. Its fur is standing up because of the strong wind. When it finally lands on the ground, it feels weak. It makes a grimace at Lin Luoran and sneaks into the grass nearby. Lin Luoran knows that it loves exotic flowers and plants. It can't stay still when it sees so many plants on the mountain. Lin Luoran leaves it alone and goes to the edge of the cliff to take a look. The blue stone is still more than 3 feet out of the ground, inlaid in the mountain. It hasn't moved at all. Lin Luoran casts the wind-riding spell and tries it gently. The blue stone sinks deeply into the mountain wall. In the past, she couldn't do anything about it. However, things are different now. She is a cultivator in the level of laying foundation. She can cast a spell of the nature of earth. How can these rocks trap the blue stone, which is neither gold nor stone? It only takes Lin Luoran 7 minutes to get the blue stone out. The blue stone is as big as a round table. After washing away the rock debris, the blue stone is green. A touch of cyan light seems to come from the middle of the blue stone. Lin Luoran closes her eyes to feel the surroundings of the blue stone. Reiki molecules of the 5 elements are flowing around the blue stone. However, the blue stone itself is still an ordinary stone without Reiki. Lin Luoran is overjoyed. The features of the blue stone are similar to those described in the introduction. It may be what she needs. Lin Luoran uses her mind and the blue stone disappears. Lin Luoran takes the blue stone and looks around carefully. She is satisfied when she is sure that there is only this blue stone nearby. Goldie may have gone to hunt for food. The cyan little fox is still nowhere to be seen. Lin Luoran doesn't want to control them too much since they belong to the outdoors. She decides to stay in the mountain for a while longer. Lin Luoran walks around the mountain for a while. She digs up a wild pear tree, a chestnut tree, and a fig tree. She throws them into the space and prepares to transplant them when she gets back. It's still early. Remembering that Luodong said that the bamboo shoots they ate 2 days ago were very fresh, Lin Luoran decides to dig bamboo shoots in the mountain. This kind of bamboo shoots, which are thicker than a thumb, is a specialty of the mountain. They are not big after growing up. Lin Luoran needs good eyesight to find them. Though Lin Luoran is not wearing a raincoat, she is very agile and the branches can't stop her. After a while, she climbs over half of the mountain and finds a lot of bamboo shoots. The bamboo shoots are enough for the whole family to eat, so Lin Luoran stops. Lin Luoran claps her hands. Thinking of Donglin's translation at home, and she wants to go back. When Lin Luoran is about to call Goldie, she hears an eagle's call and hears a Goldie's voice. She wants to come back. Lin Luoran casts the wind-riding spell and flies to the direction of the sound. People often come to this mountain. Even if there are fierce beasts, Goldie can't send a warning with its strength. It's quiet. Goldie is standing on a big tree, staring at the ground. Lin Luoran follows its eyes and sees a huge snake as thick as a bucket on the ground. The snake's body is red, and its triangular head is sticking out its tongue. Lin Luoran follows Goldie's eyes and sees a huge snake as thick as a bucket coiled up on the ground like a mosquito coil. The snake's triangular head is sticking out its tongue. It smells terrible. The grass and trees around wither. The red snake is poisonous. No wonder Goldie wants to warn the snake. Lin Luoran understands. Then she sees a familiar small figure in front of the red snake. Lin Luoran's heart tightens. It's the cyan little fox. To be exact, the cyan little fox is lying in front of the snake. Its hair is black and shiny. There is no trace of cyan on it. Is it poisoned? Lin Luoran is wondering why Goldie would bother such a strange creature. It turns out that it wants to save the cyan little fox. Lin Luoran doesn't have time to admire the loyalty of the golden hawk. Seeing the fox lying on the ground, Lin Luoran subconsciously summons the bright sword. Kill the snake and save the fox. There are only 4 words in her mind now. No, the snake is as thick as a bucket. If it moves, it may crush the fox in front of her. She has to calm down. Lin Luoran jumps on Goldie's back. The golden hawk understands her mind and flies in the opposite direction. The red snake may think that the snack in front of it is too small, so it gives up the fox and chases after it. Goldie is not slow. At this moment, it deliberately follows the red snake and flies at a moderate altitude. Lin Luoran secretly casts a mini-world to protect herself. She flies down from Goldie's back and returns to the place where the cyan little fox is lying. Using her spiritual mind, Lin Luoran finds that the fox is still breathing weakly. Lin Luoran doesn't know how poisonous the snake is and she doesn't dare to touch the fox's body directly. The only thing she has with her is the circulation bolus. However, the effect of the circulation bolus is not a special antidote. Lin Luoran doesn't have much hope. She wraps Reiki around the bolus and feeds it to the fox. Lin Luoran doesn't dare to hold the fox in her arms. She takes out a coat from the space. As soon as she holds the fox up, she hears a rustling sound accompanied by Goldie's sharp cry. It turns out that the red snake has realized Lin Luoran's trick and has returned quickly. Lin Luoran moves aside with the fox in her arms. The venom spat by the red snake brushes against her clothes and falls on the ground. It stinks and makes a sizzling sound. What a strong snake venom. Although Lin Luoran has dodged the venom, she still feels dizzy after smelling the stench. The venom is so strong. People from neighboring villages come here from time to collect herbs and game. It is very likely that they will encounter the red snake. Although Lin Luoran doesn't like most people in Li's village, they are her neighbors after all. In a split second, Lin Luoran makes a decision. She can't let the snake live. She throws the coat up and Goldie catches it accurately with its claws. Lin Luoran turns around and cuts the snake's head with her sword. Although the red snake is also poisonous, it doesn't have a hard shell like the Scorpion King. The Grade 5 flying sword is not just for show. Lin Luoran cuts the snake's head with a backhand. The snake's blood spurts out and drops of it fall on Lin's sleeve. Several black holes immediately form. Lin Luoran quickly tears off a piece of sleeve. Even the snake's blood is poisonous. It seems that she really can't let it live. Lin Luoran feels dizzy. Cyan Little Fox's condition can't be delayed. She has to end the battle as soon as possible. She infuses Reiki into the sword and uses the spell of the sword. The temperature around suddenly drops. When the red snake is still wondering why it suddenly snows, Lin Luoran's sword has already cut its weak point. It is unexpectedly soft. Lin Luoran didn't expect that her sword could be so dangerous. The snake's head is cut off and its blood sprays out like a fountain. A locust tree on the opposite side is also affected. It corrodes and dies at a speed visible to the naked eye, which makes people shiver. With its head cut off, the red snake has no chance of survival. Lin Luoran sees the blood spraying all over the ground. It's a pity that the snake's meat is too poisonous. It can't be eaten, nor can it be left to poison small animals. Lin Luoran flicks a fireball on the snake's body and jumps on Goldie's back. The Cyan Little Fox must be saved as soon as possible. Seeing the snake's body on fire, Lin Luoran is worried about the Cyan Little Fox. She can't just watch it burn into ashes. She directs Goldie to go to our city. A burning smell comes. The snake's meat is sizzling, but the fire is dying down. There is only a headless snake's body on the ground. The snake's face is no longer recognizable because of the fire. After a long time, the snake's abdomen moves a little. A triangular head of a red thing pops out. The snake's forked tongue trembles in the air. It can smell the snake's venom no matter how far it is. Lin Luoran rushes home with a cloth bag in her hand. She opens the door of the study. Rong is startled, but he doesn't dare to ask. He can only watch Lin Luoran close the door of the next room. Maybe the Cyan Little Fox has absorbed some of the venom. Drops of black liquid begin to flow out of its body. Lin Luoran doesn't dare to let the venom drip on the floor of the Lin's house. She uses Reiki to make a ball. She quickly finds a big iron basin and suspends the Cyan Little Fox in the air. The iron basin below the Cyan Little Fox is used to catch the venom. Obviously, this little bit of venom is not enough to force out the snake's venom. Lin Luoran thinks of Reiki. She wraps the Cyan Little Fox with gentle wood Reiki and penetrates into its bones and flesh. This is the purest Reiki in the world. Lin Luoran got this idea from when she saved Baojia. Snake venom destroys the nervous system of the body. As long as there is strong cell regeneration, no matter whether it is a human or an animal, it should be able to expel the venom by itself. As soon as the green wood Reiki enters the Cyan Little Fox's body, the black venom starts to resist. Lin Luoran directs the Reiki to chase after the venom and force most of the venom to the fox's paws. Lin Luoran cuts the fox's paw with her fingertip and black blood comes out. When the blood turns red and the fur of the Cyan Little Fox returns to its original color, Lin Luoran knows that she is right. There is a bowl of black liquid in the basin. It is actually fox blood mixed with snake venom. Lin Luoran checks the fox's body and finds that there is still some venom in its body. However, the cyan little fox is breathing steadily. Lin Luoran puts the venom in a jade bottle together with the venom sac of the Scorpion King. Lin Luoran gets a basin of spring water in the space and puts the fox in it. The mysterious water in the space has many functions that Lin Luoran doesn't know yet. However, Lin Luoran is sure that it will be good for the cyan little fox. Lin Luoran closes the door and feels tired. It seems to be easy to save the fox. However, only she knows how much Reiki she has consumed. Without Reiki, Lin Luoran is just an ordinary person. She naturally feels tired. The wind of early spring rustles the bamboo leaves. Lin Luoran suddenly remembers that there is an outsider in the bamboo house, Rong Donglin, whom she ignores. Rong Donglin is staring at the huge golden hawk in front of him. His fingers are trembling and his forehead is covered with sweat. How can there be such a big bird in broad daylight? Lin Luoran puts her hand on her forehead. She has forgotten not only Rong Donglin but also Goldie. Goldie and the cyan fox have long regarded this island as a forbidden area. Lin Luoran actually forgot about it. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.